Pink sleeves and pink cap. On the inside is Strange Magic. Then on the outside is United Council and Peyton's Tears, now being asked for an effort. 4 lengths off them. The race develops and Sea Anemone feels a bit of pressure with Strange Magic, Cape Lights, United Council. Peyton's Tears being asked for an effort, still 4 lengths off them. 300 meters left to go. They spread across the track. Strange Magic comes at Sea Anemone, Cape Lights, United Council. Peyton's Tears being asked for maximum at Sea Anemone. Sea Anemone shows a lot of heart out there. Strange Magic tries, but tries in vain. Sea Anemone's going to win it. Strange Magic in second. Peyton's Tears just doesn't want to win, runs third. And then behind them, Cape Lights and United Council. So, Sea Anemone under JP van der Merwe was left out in front. You have to say, lots of heart, lots of courage, because they tackled early and she fights them off. She's always been a horse that's come to the course with a reputation. Maybe just one of those that's taken a bit of time, but she fights them off in a good way today. Strange Magic for Alistair Cohn has won a good race in second. Peyton's Tears given every possible chance in third. Cape Lights behind that. United Council, and a long way back to Lady Regent. So let's have a look at the head-on replay. Like I said, they moved in together. They went through the 400. There were a good 3 or 4 of them that had winning chances, but Sea Anemone, under a strong ride from JP, fights them off, the daughter of Dynasty, to become a 2-time winner from 7 outings. Well done to the Wilgerbosdrift PTY Limited team, to Mrs. Mary Slack, well played, and of course this one bred by Wilgerbosdrift and Maritzfontein Stud Farm. I think she'll have a big season in front of her. The penny still hasn't quite dropped with Sea Anemone, and she wins a good race this afternoon. Let's go back to the studio. Place accumulator starts in race 3.
Welcome back to the parade ring here at Turffontein. We're moving on to race number 3 now. And I just thought that I'd bring something to your attention before we go and proceed with any interviews. I was just looking at this filly, Cape Lights, who Nico fancied and who I fancied as well. She ran off a merit rating of 81. And if you take a look at her previous win, there was every reason to understand exactly why her merit rating had gone up. But to go from an 81 when she beat Escape Artist to an 89, that was 8 full points. Might just have been a little bit harsh. Not having a go at the handicapper at all. I'm just asking you as a form follower just to bear that in mind next time she runs, when you look at the full 8 points that she got. Great respect for the handicappers and the unenviable job that they've got to do. But that's just something that's worth pondering about as far as that filly is concerned. Okay, let's move on to the next race, which of course is race number 3. And Man's Night, he is about as good a looking horse as you could ever hope to find. He really is a smashing looking son of Give Me a Green Light, out of a mare called Just the Way You Are, a half-brother to Malmoose, no less, Duke of Spin, only one like you. So he's got very, very good credentials. And I did have a very brief chat to Mano Pandarum, who's of course the owner of this very impressive horse, and he was hoping that this horse would run well. There's Samanga Kamala sitting on the bench talking to his good friend and colleague Muzi Yeni. We might as well just have a very, very quick brief chat to him. Muzi, first of all, hard luck in the previous race. We'll get back to you right now. Congratulations for your first winner, but this is a really smart looking horse.
Yes, very well bred. You know what, Mr. Mitchell has taken his time with him, and I really think today, it's his day. We're almost looking for this distance, and yeah, man, he's exciting to ride.
Miko's obviously spoken to you about the rest of your rides on the card, but just give us some sort of indication as to how you expect to ride him. I'm sure you won't be given instructions.
Obviously, I just will ride him as he comes out the gate. He's not the best of starters, and from then onwards, follow them through. And there's most of the runners here, the first time this distance. I think number one is the one that has been that distance and ran second. So we'll have him on our radar and then take it from there. I think it should be, it should be a lot of confidence coming from the yard too.
Fantastic. Thanks, Samang. Well done to you. Right. While we've got an opportunity to chat to very briefly Bar and Buertus standing around, I see that Muzi's on to get on his steed. The horses are leaving the parade ring. What can you tell us, sir?
Well, I was first time over the distance, so it's a bit of a gamble. There are two good form horses. Wyoming, top class long distance trainer. So I have to respect his horse. I think Mr. Matchett, and I think Lady Dynamo over this distance, big runner.
Well, I'm going to leave it nice and short and sweet and to the point. That's basically what we need to hear.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know as far as our own horse is concerned. According to Muzi last time, he said put it over further. So, I mean, it would be a guess. But he's got a game plan, and let's hope it works out.
Fantastic, Warren. As always, thank you for your time. Warren Buertus giving them some insight into what do you think might just happen in this, the third race of the afternoon. I see Samanga's about to climb aboard Man's Night. As I said, he's about as good a looking horse as you could ever hope to find. He's the half-brother to Mal Moose, none less. And today Samanga gets an opportunity to shed that maiden certificate. Obviously, there are a couple of horses that have been, well, not really many horses that have been the trip. But as Boren Buertus said, Exquisite Dawn did run over 2,000 metres last time out, but there have been absolutely no winners from that form line behind. On Pity Pat, that ran unplaced next time out. All Rise ran unplaced the time thereafter. And same for Coffee in Brazil and Impression, who ran last 27 lengths behind. So what did we glean from the thoughts of Boren Buertus on Desert Fox, rather? We feel that it's a little bit of a gamble, but the horses are coming out on the track, and it would be fantastic to hear how Brandon calls him to the post for race 3.
Thank you very much, Andrew. They on their way down to the start. Race number 3, first leg of the place accumulator. 2,600 meters in front of them, so they'll jump in front of the grandstand and they'll make their way all the way around the track before turning back for the second time to the finishing post. Here's number 2, Desert Fox, Muzi Yeni. Just a reminder that we've also got the double header of local racing with Hollywood Bets Durbanville this afternoon. Number 2, Desert Fox, trading 11-2 in the market. Goes down nice and quietly with Muzi. Number 1 is Time to Meditate and Caden Brewer. That's at 11-2. Number 6, All Rise, Nathan Klink. Here's number 4, Lady Dynamo, Marco van Rensburg. Here's your favorite now at 17-20, Man's Night, number 3, Samanga Kumalo. Number 8, Exquisite Dawn, got the black cap, Keretile Kacheri. 7, Coffee in Brazil, Jared Penny. And number 5 is Punta Alta, and that's Philisande Nkloli. All right, so the market has 3, Man's Night, 17-20. Number 2, Desert Fox at 6-1. The 1, Time to Meditate, 11-2. The 4, Lady Dynamo, 8-1. And you can write your price about the rest of the field. First leg of the place accumulator, we're on 272,000 Rand. Let's go and join Nico and Andrew.
Thanks, Brandon. And runners are making their way to the start, 2,600 meters. And once again, if anyone's on the track, I'd urge you to just come downstairs and stand at about the 100-meter marker, and you'll see those horses, or 150 meters, and you'll see those horses load up in front of you, and just experience the start if you've never been to a start before. You've got a few minutes to post, I think about 5 or so, to get down here, and the horses are already at the start, so they should be loading up quickly. I'm going to be brief. I thought Mun's Night hard to beat. I did speak to Samanga Kamalo about this horse in the winning interview of the first race, and he thought he'd go very close to winning. I like the way it went to start, Andrew, and as you said, he looks tremendous. For me, he's the horse to beat. I don't know about the others, though.
I think a lot of people are speculating as to whether those horses will get the trip. There's no doubt in my mind that he will get the trip, because it's I think it's quite an easy 2,600 meters, a big striding horse. I've seen him in the mornings at Rijkiesfontein. He's a very, very impressive worker. Got a lot of presence about him, as you would expect, being the half-brother to Malmoose. And, yeah, look, today he won't get many easier opportunities to shed that maiden certificate. And there's no value to be had at 7-2, but, you know, maybe you want to track the horses that definitely will stay, and Time to Meditate is probably one of those, from a stable that really knows how to prepare stayers really well. Desert Fox, Bart would have said a little bit of a gamble, but he did hint that Lady Dynamo was looking for the ground and might run well. So that's my 5 cents worth for race number 3.
Yeah, I think it's Mun's Night or anything here. I think he's the right horse in the race. He looked the part. A lot of these are unexposed over the trip. So too, funny enough, is the favourite, Mun's Night, but it looks like because Malmoose, the half-brother, went on to win the Derby as well. So you'd think that Mun's Night would be hard to beat here. They're loading up. Let's go to Brandon. There's only a couple more left to go in.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nico. Thanks, Andrew. They almost done with the loading process. We're just waiting for All Rise to go in. Exquisite Dawn, if you're looking for that one, got the black cap. Coffee in Brazil goes in. Lady Dynamo. And we'll be ready to send them back over 2,600 meters. First leg of the PA starter says go, and they off and racing. Lady Dynamo, one of the first to respond. Time to Meditate on the inside. The Greys, Punta Alta, All Rise, and Mun's Night in search of a better position. Only 2 lengths off them. Further back is Desert Fox, Coffee in Brazil, and Exquisite Dawns at the back end. They somewhat sort themselves out as Punta Alta shows signs to go and lead them and goes off by 2 and a bit lengths with Lady Dynamo in second. All Rise is right there with Mun's Night, and they're no more than 3 or 4 lengths off the leader. Further back is Desert Fox, and then comes Exquisite Dawn, and out back is Coffee in Brazil, and that's relaxed about 8 lengths off the leader. So Punta Alta onto the back straight, goes off to lead them by about 2 or 3 lengths in the end. Mun's Night is in second with Samanga Kamalo. Lady Dynamo is racing away in third. Then comes All Rise, Time to Meditate with Desert Fox. Further back in running, the green with the black cap is Exquisite Dawn, and out back is Coffee in Brazil as they run up towards the last 1,600 meters. It's Punta Alta. No turning back from here. Has got the call by about 2 lengths with Mun's Night breathing down its throat in second. Been given every possible chance and only 2 or 3 lengths off the leader. Further back is Lady Dynamo. On the outside is All Rise and only 4 lengths off them. Time to Meditate. Desert Fox has got the orange jacket, the orange cap, Exquisite Dawn, and out back is Coffee in Brazil. There's 1,200 meters left to run in the first leg of the PA, and nothing's changed. It's Punta Alta who's in front by just over a length with Mun's Night in second. In a good rhythm and breathing nicely is Mun's Night. Only got about 2 lengths to make up. All Rise, Lady Dynamo has got the white sleeves and the white cap. Then comes Desert Fox. Time to Meditate lost a few positions. Now 6 lengths off them. Exquisite Dawn, and out back is Coffee in Brazil, who's always been happy to race at the back end, and about 8 lengths off the leader. They almost onto the dog leg. They homeward bound nearly for the first leg of the place accumulator, and in front is Punta Alta, going to take them to the 600 with Mun's Night in second. All Rise Rise going to come 3 deep with Lady Dynamo. Desert Fox, Time to Meditate. Coffee in Brazil and Exquisite Dawn, but this is where Mun's Night now takes over. He just needs to see it out. He goes a length clear. In second is All Rise. Desert Fox, Punta Alta, Lady Dynamo. Favourites under pressure now as All Rise comes to tackle Mun's Night. Desert Fox, Time to Meditate. All Rise has hit the front and Mun's Night is in big pressure now. And now Desert Fox turns the engines on. Desert Fox goes for home and it's race over, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, Desert Fox past the 100. You can put the stick away, Muzi. Could win. Time to Meditate second. Lady Dynamo third. Photos. Exquisite Dawn, All Rise. Nothing from Mun's Night. Coffee in Brazil and a long way back to Punta Alta. So Desert Fox moved up at the right time with All Rise. They moved in together to tackle the favourite Mun's Night, who I don't think saw it out. I don't think there'll be too many happy punters if you bankered that in the first leg of the PA. But Desert Fox wins well enough. Time to Meditate second. Lady Dynamo's run third. Fourth, that'll just go to All Rise. On the outside, then came Exquisite Dawn, Mun's Night, Coffee in Brazil, and Punta Alta. Yeah, so Mun's Night, he was given every possible chance. He sat just in behind the leader, being Punta Alta. But you could see there was nothing in the tank at the 300. It was going up and down, and Desert Fox was quick to build up. Well done to Muzi. Well done to Bar and Buertus, and of course to the owners, Mrs. J.H. van Heerden, races in the silks of Andre van Skyke. I know Andre will be back at home watching closely. Hope you had a nibble. Decent price, Desert Fox. A maiden, no more.
Tonight has now made his way onto the course proper and will canter down to that 1,000 meter mark. Those are the runners and riders for the first race of the afternoon. As we cross on downstairs to the on-course team, Grant Knowles, Vicky Minot and MJ Bailefeld for the preview of the opening race of the afternoon.
Welcome to Hollywood Bets Durbanville. Lovely sunny day here, a bit of a breeze, but going to be some good racing. With me is Candice Bass Robinson to take us through her runners for the day. And Candice, obviously your horse that he'll perform.
Yeah, Vicky's obviously got the form on paper. He's become a lot more consistent as he's starting to mature now. I think he's got a nice draw today, and I think he'll probably. He likes to race up handy anyway, so I think Durbanville might suit him today. Unless there's something outstanding that's unraced, he must have a good chance.
In race 2, you've got the 3 runners. You've got Fordray, Maneki Noko, and also Rogaruan.
Yeah, Vicky Fordray, obviously a Rambo Bridges half-brother. He's a colt by far away. Lovely type of horse, but I think he's still a little bit soft and he's still going to need more time. I think he certainly, as he starts racing, he will improve all the time. I've done as much as I can do with him at home now. It's time for him to have a race. And so I think he'll run quite a nice race, but I'm not sure that he can win first time out. Rogaruan, I think will run a much better race today. He was a little bit too handy last time in the soft going. I think he'll give a much better account of himself today. And the other little horse, also still a little bit immature and soft. Vicky, he ran on quite nicely last time, but I think might just be a little bit green first start at Durbanville.
Race 3, you've got Isi Peke drawn a bit wide.
Yeah, he too. He's not the easiest of horses, Vicky. He's quite keen and he wants to fly jump and that a lot. So not going to be that easy from a draw. He was quite slow out first time out, so I think it'll also be a much better run from him today, but I think he would need a draw and probably need a bit further too, so I can't expect too much from him.
We move on to race 4, the 3 runners again, True Love, Song Myself, and then the horse with the form Strata.
Yeah, Strata's knocking on the door, Vicky Sham. She always just finds one to beat her every time, and I think she must have a good chance today. She's doing well at home. Song of Myself, a very nice filly, and I'd be careful of her. I would definitely include her, whatever you're doing. She's a very nice filly. She might just be a little bit green today, but if not, I think she certainly won't be far off them either. What was the other one?
And then the Song of Myself.
Yeah, that is Song of Myself.
Sorry, and then My True Love.
My True Love, she's going to need further, so she'll definitely need the experience today.
Race 5, the 2 runners, both of them look like nice sorts, and Diamond Rock and Law Firefield. Could they both feature?
Yeah, Diamond Rock also been knocking on the door. Vicky always seems to find 1 or 2 to beat him. Again, there are 2 horses in that field I think that he's got to beat, but he's doing well enough at home. He's reasonably well drawn today, so again a good each way chance I think. The other horse might be a touch on the sharp side for him in the mile. I actually wanted to run him in the 1800, which fell away, so I've left him in the mile. Could be a little bit sharp, but he's doing well at home.
Race 6, the 3 runners, you've got a lot of them today, but thankfully all chances all round. Could it be English Mistress and then Red Palace drawn a bit wide?
Yeah, could it be? Ran on very strongly last time. She got into a bit of trouble. She probably should have finished closer. So from a 1 draw today, I think she's certainly a filly that will have a good each way chance here. Red Palace also a very nice type. Obviously a 10 draw to overcome, which might be a bit tricky, but I would include her as well. Both my fillies could finish in the money or certainly have good each way chances there. The other filly, English Mistress, will need another run or 2, certainly from an experience point of view. She's very green still.
Then the last of your runners are Charlie Croker, Michael Faraday, and then Narina Trogan. Which one would you, if I can ask you, which one would be the select?
Hard to choose up from the 3, Vicky. If Charlie Croker had a draw, I'd probably say over the 1400 he would be the best of them, but he's got a wider draw to overcome. I think Narina Trogan, from a good draw, he must have a good chance today. He can put a line through his last run. He was pulling very hard at the back of the field in the wet, so I think he'll run a much improved race today. So those are probably my best 2. Michael Faraday also, his last 2 runs have been good. He's been running on strongly. Will be running on again today. Just obviously going to have to, need a bit of luck from that draw.
Candice, thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
And that's Candice Bass-Robinson taking us through her runners, a number of them today, and Grant, as Candice mentioned, some good advice and chances all round.
Thanks very much, Vicky, and thanks to Candice as well. Candice looking stunning in her drink dress today, and a lot of ladies have really made an effort. There's some smartly dressed people here today, MJ.
Yeah, brilliant, Grant. I mean, they put you live on camera yet. I wasn't here earlier on. Did they put you on camera?
They did. That's why there's so many nicely dressed ladies.
Okay, that's why there's everyone around.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought there must have been something that's attracting me.
Thank you for that.
No, but it is. Yeah, people are really, I must say, some youngsters on course. All the people, it's festive here today. It's fantastic.
It's a great vibe, and I think it's going to get a little bit busier. Even just the first race, the crowd standing around the paddock fencing was nice to watch.
I think Hollywood Bets Durbanville was a lovely venue for that, because as a spectator you have sort of front row seat to all the action. Even if there's a 2,000 meter race, you can watch the horses jump out the pen, so it's lovely for the children too. There's a play area, and they also just run around the grass and have a whale of a time. So yes, we also have good racing. It's excited for the day.
It is indeed. Right, let's chat about the favourite here, Warm Winter Night. On the exposed form, does look like it's the horse that they're all going to have to beat. You've got a bit of confidence when MJ chatted to Aldo de May, and we've got a bit of confidence when Vicky chatted to Candice. So they are expecting this fella to win, and it really will be a matter of if one of these first-timers is above average. Well, let's talk about the first-timers. 6 Connery from the Glen Cotson yard. Thought he went to post quite nicely. He's trained by Glen Cotson. He's what a winter out of the Captain Elmer Joe's Bond, a Group 2 winner in her own right. Whole bunch of owners in this one, Vicky. In the commenting computer form from Glen Cotson, Glenn says, top horse, they can run into the money here.
And I think that's a fair comment. He's a beautiful mover, as you saw him going down to the start. He's a very neat and strong colt. You would have known, Joe's Bond, you would have known she was really, really quick. And I think that it's a fair comment. It's, obviously Warm Winter Night has the experience, and you have the element of a horse being green, but he's a beautiful horse and has been well prepared.
A horse that I thought was really attractive in the ring was the first timer from the Snaith yard, number 8, Unicorn Alert. And I must tell you, MJ, this horse went down to post very nicely. Richard Ferree in the saddle.
Yeah, lovely looking horse. If he's not too green, I also could pick it up and come and run into the quartet. It just looks like a horse that might need one run, but a lovely looking horse, and wouldn't be surprised if he's in the placings.
Yeah, lovely dark bay, and he really caught my eye. So too did the filly, number 5, Jet Green, on the way down to the start, but they are loading up as we hand up to Devon for the first.
Thank you very much, Grant. First race of the afternoon. The Hollywood Bets Durbanville welcomes you maiden plates of 1,000 metres. Just the field of 9 runners, and Connery is the next runner to move up. About half the field has already settled in. Pompey Warning moves forward. Unicorn Alert. And that leaves us with Great Cat and Clip and DeBoss. Clip and DeBoss steps forward, and Great Cat moves in. Set for a start. First race of the afternoon. sprinting from the 1,000 meter mark and dancing to the light. Had to get a few reminders early on, had to race in the back end of the field. Great Cat responded well. Connery's also up there in a handy position as there's a mad scramble out in front for that early pace. Pompey warning right in the thick of things as well. Down towards that inside rails, Warm Wind Tonight racing 3 or 4 lengths off the early pace. On the outside of runners is Newton Heath. Then we drop back 2 lengths in running to Unicorn Alert in that one out position of Dancing to the Light. Further length back to Jet Green and Clip in Divorce has it all to do from about 8 lengths off the leader as they're homeward bound just on 500 meters left to go. Great Cat, Pompey warning. These two go towards the inside rail. Warm Wind Tonight starts to move up into the race smartly. The pink sleeves and green cap down the center of the course. Deeper out is Connery with Newton Heath as they're into the final 250 meters. Warm Wind Tonight, Great Cat, Pompey warning. Connery deeper out, but Warm Wind Tonight now finds an extra gear, goes past Great Cat, and Warm Wind Tonight, the winner of the first race, keeps going clear, and Warm Wind Tonight gets there from Great Cat. Connery in third, then came Pompey warning in fourth. Number 3, Warm Winter Night, Alder Demare for the Candice Bass Robinson stable. Goes past the rest of the runners into the closing stages, settled just on the heels of the early pace, and quickens up at the right time to win by about 1.5 lengths in the opening race of the afternoon. The winner, number 3, Warm Winter Night. Second place, number 1, Great Cat. Showed great improvement from the last 2 starts. Then was number 6, Connery in third, and Pompey Warning, who completes the course test back in the fourth. The winner, 3 from the right-hand side, pink sleeves, green cap. You can see the rest of the field off the bits at the moment. And now starts to get punched out into the closing stages, moves past Pompey Warning and Great Cat with ease. And a comfortable winner in the opening leg of the bipods. And the opening race of the afternoon at Hollywood Bets Durbanville, number 3, Warm Winter Night in the winner's box. Being led into the winner's box for race number 1, number 3, Warm Winter Night. 3-year-old bay gelding by What a Winter out of Cordial Report by Spectrum. Alder Demare, the winning jockey for the winning trainer Candice Bass Robinson, now becomes a 1-time winner from 7 career starts, bred out by Cloverflay Stud. And a host of owners involved here, Mr. Mark Bass, as well as Mr. Chinsimi, Mr. Masson, Dr. Stakler, and Nick and Val McFall. So a big congratulations to the winning connections here for number 3, Warm Winter Night, the winner for the first race of the afternoon. Provisional results, 3, 1, 6, and 4, with a winning time of 58.62 seconds.
of race 1, which is the Hollywood Bets Welcomes You maiden plate, was number 3, Warm Winter Night, the son of What a Winter. Well done to Lucky Seni. He receives R1,000 from a Hollywood Bet, so thank you to them and Cape Racing. The jockey aboard was Elder de Meyer. Elder, well done.
Thank you, Vicky.
It seemed like the race panned out quite well for you in the way that you got a nice lead and produced him at the right time.
Yeah, I thought I was going to jump with the intention to lead, and anything faster I was just going to sit and take a wait. He never really got an opportunity to get in his optimum sort of rhythm, so 5 furlong year was perhaps a fraction sharp for him, which is okay. He still got away with it, so there's things to build on. Others started coming at him, but he was basically labouring at the end. I think it was a nice fluent win. He was a bit better than he was last time, so I think that's where the bit of confidence came from. I think that second horse is not too bad, so I think it's a form line you can follow quite nicely. Smart sort of horse, just still needs to strengthen up, but a bit to look forward to.
He also seemed like he was just needing a little bit of company at the end.
Yeah, he got there and he fetched him as I liked him to. As the company disappeared, he just, like I say, he just didn't throw in the towel, but he was just a bit lazy and just waiting for them to come around. And the minute he heard them again, there was a bit more in the tank. So in saying that, that was encouraging. So to Dale and everyone involved with this was, there's quite a few people. I think you're going to have a bit of fun.
Well done.
Thanks so much. Thanks to Candice. Thanks to everyone. Mr. Bass, he's quite keen on this horse. So Drakensteen, everyone, thank you.
There you go. Well done to Elder de Meyer. And trainer is Candice Bass Robinson. Candice, well done.
Thank you.
It's always nice when they build up to the win, and you know he has been so consistent in gelding.
He has, Vicky, and he's improving all the time. He's a horse was a very nervous horse when he first came in. He's been nervous and he wants to get on with things on the track, so he wants to do things the wrong way around most of the time at home, and he's actually settled down quite nicely now. We actually took him down to start in a pair of earmuffs today, which seems to have helped as well. But he's settling down all the time, and you know, earlier on when we bought him from the Ready to Run sale, I mean, he showed that he was a nice horse, and he just, I think, was, as I say, doing things the wrong way around and just a little bit immature still. So I think with time now, and you know, as he strengthens up a little bit, I think he's going to be a nice little sprinter, nice little fun horse for everybody's home.
And Ken, it's also a lovely start of the day for you, well done.
Thank you. It's always nice to start the day with a winner. I think he was probably my easiest winner to pick on the card. It's a difficult card today. I think the races are quite competitive, so hopefully we can get 1 or 2 more. I've got some nice runners today. And just well done to John, to Satch, and to Dalen, and to Nick and Bell, who are overseas. They won the phone early on. They were actually looking, they won the Skype on the lead-in, so they managed to see everything, which is nice for them too. So I hope they're enjoying their holiday, and a super bunch of guys. Nice win for them, and John is here to talk to you.
Well done.
Thank you.
John, you can come ahead and come have a chat to me, and it's always nice, like I said to Candice, also the consistency is finally rewarded.
Yes, no, look, I wasn't that confident today. I thought he was priced up wrong at 9 to 10, you know, a lot of unraced horses, so, but he proved me wrong, so I'm very happy that he's actually come through and won.
And I think just listening to, you know, Elder's comment about the fact that he's still learning, it hopefully more to come from him? I
think so. Hopefully he'll go on and win a couple. As I said, there were a couple of unraced horses having their first run, so we'll have to see how the form works out. But yeah, we hope he'll win a few for us. So just well done to all the partners, Mark as well, and then of course Nick and Val McFall, who are in France at the moment. He was on video link during the running of the race, so he knows he's won. Yeah, and then yeah, thanks also to the breeders, Klavervlei, for breeding him.
And you seem to thoroughly enjoy your racing. I often see you at the stables in the morning, so it's nice to be here at the country course and also for a winner.
No, it is. I'm here whenever I have a runner. Don't get to the stables that often, but I've seen you there once or twice. So, you know, no, I'm enjoying my racing. It's very nice, thanks.
Well, all the best for the rest of the day.
Thank you, thanks.
There you go, lovely to have all the connections involved with number 3, Warm Winter Night, the son of What a Winter, and rightfully pointed out to Klavervlei for breeding. Congratulations to all the connections. It was very much a form win, but great nonetheless. Runner-up in third place was Connery, and MJ standing by with Raymond Danielson, who was the jockey aboard.
Indeed, Marcella Kajedi climbing aboard, breeze over very shortly, as you've heard, and Nico made this very clear earlier on when he made his assessment. They've taken the blinkers off to give him a chance to race at him, but he looks as well as you could ever expect a horse to look. But then again, having said that, there's no stable that turns them out quite like the Azzy Yard. They're always platted to the minute, beautifully turned out. Maybe with a little bit of luck, we might be able to get some information from the Moffat Yard, as I see Opera Glass is about to be mounted. In fact, that's a fraud that's now getting a leg up. Muziyeni is on a horse by the name of Rarotonga Rose, who stays very well. The Hoodalakis yard have been in the money today, and I'm sure they're going to be hoping to go one better. Samonga Kamala will be riding a horse that I spoke to Lucky about earlier on. A horse that's going to get the trip that he's probably looking for. He's now just got aboard and he's going to go the wrong way round and ride the parade ring. And that is a horse by the name of Spin Doctor. He's by Duke of Marmalade, who's of course the sire of Rain in Holland, amongst many other very successful progeny, out of a Galileo mare called Fire Spinner, which makes him a half-brother to Fire Alley. And Fire Alley has raced with distinction for the Candice Bass Robinson stable in Cape Town. But he's by Flower Alley. That's why his name's Fire Alley. So the horses are coming out into the track very, very shortly. At this moment in time, it's Zeus and Spin Doctor that look like they might have the brightest chances, along with Breeze Over. Those are the three. But let's wait and see them go down to the start, and we'll
feel of the game.
You don't have to own a massive share anymore. And with it being so expensive, especially in Cape Town where training fees are quite high, but just to get the guys involved, small percentage of a horse, just to give that feeling of having a runner and especially having a winner.
Absolutely, because that feeling of having a winner is absolutely wonderful. But when you couple that with being able to come to the races, enjoy good food, good wine, a nice atmosphere like you've got today, it's the perfect day out, not just for the guy, but for his wife or his partner too.
Absolutely, and when the weather's like this, you can't ask for anything better.
Absolutely. Now, in terms of syndicates that you've got running at the moment, you've said you're pretty full, but you are looking to maybe acquire towards the end of the year?
Yeah, Grant, we added 2 new juveniles to the books this, recently in the last month. Unfortunately, for new investors, those went out pretty quickly, but we are looking to add new horses to our books. There's a sale coming up in the next week, and there's a ready-to-run sale in October that we'll be looking to buy more horses.
Ready to run is probably a nice option in the terms of you don't have to wait too long.
That's it. Quick return on investment. The horses are already pre-trained for us, and they should be on the track within in a month or 2.
Excellent stuff. So currently now, Golf Racing Club, how many syndicates on the go?
We've got 3 based in Cape Town, 2 juveniles with Vaughan Marshall, and then Spring Palace, who's with Justin. And then we've got a Barcelona who was in Cape Town, has now gone up to Durban.
Okay, fantastic. So quite a few varieties available in that. So keep an eye out in the press because, and on social media, Golf Racing Club will be purchasing. And if you do want to get involved, Kurt Felix is the man to be contacting. But I'm not going to let him go that easily now because he now has to tell me who he likes here in the opening leg of the Pick 6. Is it a banker?
I would like to think so. Yeah, Grant, on that first run, a very impressive run. It doesn't look like there's too much else in the race, barring the 1 and the 3. Yeah, the form line of questioning looks like it's going to hold up as well. And like you said earlier, Vaughan seems to think questioning is quite decent.
Yeah, actually, when he chatted to Vicky a little bit earlier on, his exact words were, we're hoping for a bright future with questioning. So it really is a matter of if these horses win today, representing that questioning form line, I think as we get closer to that last race, he's going to be a lot shorter in the market.
You'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you're going to be in the camp with number 7, Greeting My Master. You have a respect for number 1, Night Bomber, as well as number 3, Lord Quinn. In terms of number 4, Terminator, he's got a nice pedigree as well, being by a trip out of a dynasty mare. And Andre Noel's horses have been running well.
Yeah, the stable seems to have turned, although it's probably going to be looking for a bit of a trip. The mare won over 2,000 meters, so 1250 might be on the sharp side. If you're looking to add a bit of a roughie to the bets, number 9, Lindenberg, should improve, although coming back from a bit of a rest, but that's got to be a bit of a runner.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Lindenberg is another one that Justin mentioned when he was chatting to Vicky, that this could be a bit of value to be had here. It's better than the form that's showing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so those are the runners that could give number 7, Greeting My Master, most to think about. It looks like they're going to start loading up. Kurt, we look forward to seeing the Golf Racing Club colours flying high, and obviously people know how to get hold of you now as well, but good luck with that venture.
Thanks, Grant. Thanks for the opportunity.
Excellent stuff. Let's hand up to Devon for the running of race number 3, the opening leg of the Pick 6.
Thank you very much, Grant. The loading procedure underway. Lord Quinn has moved forward with Lindbergh. Over Emotional's also stepped up. You see Petre. Greasing My Master. Night Bomber moves into gate 1. Just the field of 9 runners, of course, with those 2 scratchings. So we're just waiting on Tenandro and Cosmic Captain to complete the lineup. Atlantic Kings now step forward. Cosmic Captain moves in, set for a start. Flag goes up from behind. And away they drove from the 1,250 meter mark. And Atlantic King is going to tuck out and race from the back end of the field. Night Bomber responded quite well. Greeting My Master is also right up there in the vanguard, pushing forward to be a part of that early pace. Settling on the heels of the early speed is Cosmic Captain on the inside of Isi Peke Peke. Terminator's battle on the inside rail, only 2.5 lengths off the early pace. They slowed on the gallop out in front. A further length back and running to Lindbergh, who's on the outside of Lord Quinn. Then a further 2 lengths to Over Emotional. And that Atlantic King is racing about 10 lengths off the pace as they're homeward bound, with just on 650 meters left to go in as Night Bomber. That's going to bring the field for home. On the outside is Greeting My Master in second. Battle on the inside rail is Terminator. Then comes Isi Peke Peke with the yellow cap on the outside with Lindbergh. A further length back and running to Cosmic Captain as they make their way past the final 400 meters. And on the inside is Night Bomber, but now gets tackled on the outside by Greeting My Master and Lindbergh. These two are the first two to challenge. Then comes Terminator. Down towards the inside is Lord Quinn. As they're into the final 250 meters, it's Lindbergh with his nose out in front. Greeting My Master not going away that easy. It's Lindbergh slugging in towards the inside. Greeting My Master finding more. Lindbergh, Greeting My Master. It's between these two, but Greeting My Master is going to get there from Lindbergh. Then came Night Bomber, further back and running to Lord Quinn, Terminator. Cracking ride by Richard Ferree on Greeting My Master. Became a 2-horse race with about 150 meters left to go. Lindbergh on the outside started to lug towards the inside rail, and Greeting My Master is going to get the better of Lindbergh into the closing stages. And as Greeting My Master as the favourites continue to come at Hollywood Bets Durbanville Racecourse. Second, number 9, Lindbergh. And then it was a good 6 or 7 lengths back to the next best horse, and third, number 1, Night Bomber, who was the early pace setter. Then came Lord Quinn. And that's number 3, followed by Terminator, and the rest of the field were a long way back. Number 7, Greeting My Master, you can see now moves up to challenge alongside Lindbergh, and becomes a 2-horse race into the closing stages. Lindbergh now starts to load in towards the inside rail. Greeting My Master trying to fight back and now hits the front with just on 200 meters. And you see a little bit of bumping into the closing stages. But number 7, Greeting My Master, the winner for the opening leg of today's Pick 6.
Right, we're back at Turffontein in the parade ring for race number 5, it is, I believe. Or was it race 6? It's race 6. And it's an interesting race. There's been a lot of money for a horse by the name of Texas Red, who runs in the same colours as the horse of Robin Claessen's that ran in the Hollywood Bets July, called Second Base. He opened at 10-1. He's currently on offer at 3-1, 33-10. So shortened in from 6-5. Currently, you can actually get 5-1. It has drifted significantly. Big-eyed Girl looks to be marginally at the top of the boards with Captain Hindsight. And I remember speaking to Tony Peter just before Captain Hindsight's previous start over 1,000 meters, and he said he would have preferred at 1,200, in which he was successful the time before. And the same was also the case at the Val when he won just before that. So maybe in the middle of winter, it might just be a little bit sharp, this 1,000 meters. I know that I remember speaking to Ashley Fortune about Texas Red. Any amount of pace shows huge amounts of pace and certainly worth including into all calculations. And there, I'm just going to take a little bit of a gamble over here. I'm just going to walk over quickly to Robin Klaasen and see if she's prepared to just give us about 2 seconds of her time. Just a quick chat about Texas Red, because I remember very clearly speaking to Ashley Fortune how much pace this horse showed, and that's what he's going to need in this race.
Yeah, look, he definitely does have pace, although he seems to be better over the 1200. He's coming back off a long break now, and he possibly needs this run. We're just hoping for a good run from him.
So do you think this is the groom's money?
I'm not sure whose money it is, but I hope they're right.
Well, fantastic. So Robin Klaasen's of the belief that maybe Texas Red is better over 1,200 meters, and Captain Hindsight might be better over 1,000 meters. So that leaves us with a little bit of a conundrum. But before we get any further, I just want to ask Gavin Arena quickly about the stumble halfway down the straight with the Nkosana. I was very worried. Was it a patch or was it just a skew step?
No, he was hanging in at that stage with me, and unfortunately I made a bit of contact with Simanga's horse, and he hit my hindquarters. Got my horse a bit unbalanced, unfortunately.
Yeah, he looks like he's still strengthening up, you know. I mean, he did look to come and win his race, but he just ran out of puff, I guess.
Yeah, I think the bump cost him more than anything. The pace was pretty sedate, and I made a slight early move, but he was traveling very comfortably with me, and he was starting to kick on well. And it was just when I was asking him for his biggest effort that he got that bump from, or that I bumped Simanga, and just got him off. Yeah, just got him off his stride, and yeah, we'll come back to fight another day.
Okay, just before you get on board, obviously Texas Red has been very heavily backed, and Captain Hindsight's got good form. The one trainer says that Texas Red might be better over 1,200 meters, and I know Tony Peter thinks that Captain Hindsight would be better over 1,200 meters as opposed to 1,000. So that leaves you with a very, very big shot in this race.
Well, my filly's probably her best distance is 1,000.
Yeah, and around the corner as well.
Yeah, look, she doesn't breathe very well, so you know, the shorter we go, there's probably better.
Well, may she come home like the colour of your hat, a blue-eyed girl. Thanks as always to Gavin Larina for giving us some sort of insight. Just before they leave the parade ring, I'm just going to have a very, very sneak ambush chat to Casey and ask her quickly about a filly that, well, a gelding that you think has got some sort of a chance here.
Yeah, Stormy Seas is ever consistent. His work at home has been good. It's just a matter of getting him buried. You know, he can't find too much of an opening early on. Get him some cover, and he should be running on at them.
Does he know that you want to bury him?
Yeah, you know, I think he's mastered the art. He can be slow away, which is to his benefit. He's well drawn where he should get some cover, so hopefully all goes to plan.
Fantastic, Casey. Thank you very much for your time. Casey Boertzer representing the Roy Magnus stable. And what is interesting is the terminology that we use in the racing business. A lot of us use terms like burying. Now, anybody in a normal life thinks, crikey Moses, how do they want to bury this horse? But what they're really meaning is they want to put the horse into a position where he is not exposed to the elements, and he's getting the slipstream, as you will see in a cycle race, to give the horse more chance to use his acceleration as and when he needs it. So that's the idea with a horse by the name of Stormy Seas. He's currently on offer at about 10-1. He carries 52 kilograms, and it's also an opportunity for us to wish Roy Magnus' partner Joan a very, very speedy recovery. She had a nasty fall last week, and she is in hospital. We wish her a very speedy recovery, as the horses are just about ready to come out into the track, and I think it's definitely, without any shadow of doubt, going to be Brandon Bailey to take them to post.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. Some good interviews over there, and lovely to get the feedback and the lowdown for race number 6, which kicks off jackpot 2. Market as number 1, Captain Hindsight, 7-2 with number 3, Big Eyed Girl. 2, Texas Red at 6-1, the 4, Zenobis at 7-1, the 5, Stormy Seas 9-1, 8, Successful Secret 9-1, it's 14-1 and better those. So race number 6 goes off at 2:45. We're 10 minutes away from post time. This is number 3, Big Eyed Girl, who found some late support. Gavin Larena gets the ride. Did run third behind Flower Bomb in its last start. That was back on the 2nd of July. And has that inside draw of 1 this afternoon. So if you like number 3, Big Eyed Girl, there goes the daughter of Vercingetorix. She's a 5-time winner from 23 starts. Here's number 1, Captain Hindsight, Dennis Schwarz. Off a rating of 94 now is Captain Hindsight. Did run third to Sheldon in his last start back on the 5th of August. He's back on the inside track. There's a few that have come out together. The horse in shot is number 5, Stormy Seas. That's the ride of Muzi Yeni. Six is Rosara and Jeffrey Seister. Yes, number 7, Gallivanting. That's the ride of Keratile Kacheri. Number 8 is Successful Secret, Donald Geertsen. Zenobi's number 4, Kabela Matsunyane. Number 9, Fly Isabella Fly, Club Blue with a black cap, Nathan Klink. And here's number 2, Texas Red and Calvin Abib, who's drifted back out in the market to 7-1 nearly after touching 3-1 this morning. And that's the field on the way down to the start. The Racing 240 for Racing for You Middle Stakes. It is over 1,000 meters. Number 1, Captain Hindsight, 7-2. 3, Big Eyed Girl, 7-2. Number 2, Texas Red, 7-1. The 4, Zenobi, 7-1. And it's 17-2 and better those. Race goes off at 2:45 at the start of Jackpot 2. Let's go downstairs to Nico Kritsiotis and Andrew Bond.
So we're back here for the 6th race, and this bit of a jolt in the previous race, race 5, so hopefully things get back on track here, although it's very competitive, Andrew Bond. Race 6 is a middle stakes, over 1,000 meters, and having said that, my understanding on middle stakes races is that the fillies get a sex allowance, so with that in mind, maybe Big Eyed Girl might be the right one. What did you pick up in the parade ring?
Well, Gavin Larena was of the opinion that his filly doesn't breathe that well, but this is her best distance. It's her best track. And I think that she's got to have a very, very big chance of winning this race. And just to reiterate what you said about the previous race, I even went into form grids afterwards to see how I could possibly find every cloud. And it doesn't matter which cloud I was on or what I was smoking, I couldn't find every cloud. So, humblest apologies. At least we managed to find your little lurker in the quartets.
Yeah, with Coromandel.
Yeah.
Look, well, Byron said it when we asked him for the explanation. He said, well, I don't know. I can't tell you. The kid took it up and has won the race. Can't tell you much more. Anyway, these things happen.
Yes, close that page and move on.
Yeah, we've got to move on. Okay, so this race coming up, so Big Eyed Girl is at the weights well in, because it would, if it was a handicap, having to give Captain Hindsight a kilo, and it's in receipt of 1.5, so it's 2.5 well in with the conditions of the race. There she is going to post, Big Eyed Girl, as Andrew mentions, 6 runs over this course and distance for 2 wins and 2/3. But Johan Janssen van Vuren did say in his comments earlier on today, in good shape.
She looks in incredible shape. She looks absolutely outstanding. And, you know, I'm filled with admiration with these jockeys. You know, I do a lot of riding, but I don't ride as short as they do. The balance and the strength of these guys' physiques is just quite incredible, as these horses come out onto the track and they dodge left, they dodge right. It's no wonder that some of these guys come off from time to time. But on the real issue of Big Eyed Girl, her last 4 starts read first, fourth, first, third. And I think, as Gavin said, she's an ultra consistent filly. She's impeccably bred, being by Vercingetorix out of an Exceed and Excel mare. And if you look at form grids, there's just so much green and there's so much yellow and so much orange, which means that all of those colors mean that she's earning a check. There was only a little period of time in January, sort of March, April, that she ran 7th, 6th, 6th and 7th. So maybe she just didn't like the softer underfoot conditions, which are prevalent at the time of the year, and maybe she just likes these fast conditions. But she does look like she's good value. 33 to 10 you can get, and you can get 8 to 10 a place. So maybe that's the way to go.
Now, you mentioned Captain Hindsight. Would like to look at him again, Ricky, if we can. Now, funny enough, half of his wins have actually been over the 1,000 metres. If you look, whilst you might think it's a bit short for Captain Hindsight, in his earlier part of his career, he was a 1,000-metre horse. And Schwartz gets back on him, which is interesting because he's won both on him.
Yeah, it's very, very good to actually look at the form and say, this is what the stats say. Never mind what the trainer thinks, not for 1 second doubting that Tony Peter is correct. This horse, Captain Hindsight, has also got a win over 1,000, over 1,400 metres when he beat Whirly at the Vaal back in 21. But I suppose as the horse gets older, he is now a 7-year-old, maybe maybe Tony just thinks it's better to run him over 1,200 metres. But he's going to be a live runner over here. And the irony of the whole thing is that Robin Klaasen said that she would actually prefer Texas Red over a 1,200 metre trip because he is fast, but then towards the latter stage of the race, he gets run out of it. And that's where the Parsimers always used to say, and Tony Ribbelin would corroborate this, that 1,000-metre horses can win 1,000-metre and 1,400-metre races, and 1,200-metre horses normally win 1,600-metre races. If that makes any sense to you, it's just a stat that they've both done, and it seemed to work very well in the early days. Whether it still works, I don't know.
Well, I still remember, and you'll remember the days of Clarewood Park, when the Ridge Passmore used to train there, where those horses over 1,000 metres were unbeatable if the money came. I mean, you could put and take, couldn't you?
Give me goosebumps.
Sound of Hooves. Was it Sound of Hooves?
Galvanator, Hooves of Gold.
Hooves of Gold. Hooves of Gold.
Intellectual, Fuzzy Rag. I mean, there were some bomb sprinters there in that. Regent's Air.
Time, absolutely long.
Goosebumps.
Anyway, so Texas Red, I agree with Robin in a sense, because I thought it was better over 1,200 metres. The horse I wanted to quickly ask you about, dark horse in the race, is a horse called Gallivanting. Any word from anyone about Gallivanting, number 7?
I looked at this horse and I was very, very tempted to walk over to Mano Pandarum, but I just thought, in the light of the man's night or Mun's night having run so disappointingly, that I just give him a wide berth. Gallivanting obviously won her first 2 starts very, very impressively, beating Miss Cool. And there were a whole string of wins that came. There were 4 immediate winners that came out of that form light. And then, unfortunately, after that, when she beat Blinded by the Lights, there were no winners at all from that form line. So she's been somewhat disappointing, and she would have to show me something more before I could get interested in her.
Okay, they are starting to load. We seem to be in Big Eyed Girl's camp. I was going to call her Blue Eyed Girl, but Big Eyed Girl's camp. She does get the sex allowance here of 2.5 kilos, which may swing it in her favour. Gavin Lorena certainly will be looking to atone for the Inkasana in the previous race. They're loading up. Brandon Bailey to call them back in a quick 1,000 metres. They'll be quick here, and there won't be any hanging around.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nico. Thanks, Andrew. We're just waiting for Texas Red, Stormy Seas and Big Eyed Girl. There's no doubt there's quite a bit of speed over here. So Big Eyed Girl goes in. We wait for Texas Red. That'll be the last one to come forward. We set race 6, 1,000 meters. They off and racing. Big Eyed Girl on the inside, looking to hold its position. Texas Red, Captain Hindsight, Successful Secret also shows a bit of dash. Then comes Fly Isabella Fly. Zenobi's about 5 lengths off the leader. Then comes Razara and Stormy Seas with Gallivanting. They towards the middle half, back end of the field, but in front is Big Eyed Girl with Texas Red as they rip off in front. On the inside of that one, racing with the blue and the black is Fly Isabella Fly. Successful Secret, Captain Hindsight, Zenobi, Stormy Seas, Gallivanting and Razara, but in front is in Big Eyed Girl, who's gone a length clear with Captain Hindsight. Texas Red is to the outside with Calvin Abib. On the inside is Fly Isabella Fly. In front is Captain Hindsight. On the inside of that one is Big Eyed Girl. Texas Red flat to the boards. Good finish coming up. They're at the 50-meter marker. In front is Big Eyed Girl. Big Eyed Girl, Captain Hindsight, nothing in it. Very close. We need the judge. Maybe Captain Hindsight from Big Eyed Girl. Photo's been behind that. Zenobi looking to stay on. Further back, Fly Isabella Fly, Texas Red. But this was a good finish. Big Eyed Girl, Captain Hindsight. They locked horns past the 50. Let's have a good look at it. Captain Hindsight, Big Eyed Girl. It goes the way of number 1. Number 1's going to win it. Captain Hindsight is going to beat Big Eyed Girl. Zenobi and Razara were further back. Stormy Seas, Texas Red, and Fly Isabella Fly. So they were locked in battle. 2 very good jockeys, Dennis Schwarz and Gavin Larena. 1, 3, 4, and 6 are the numbers that you need. Let's have another look at the head-on replay. Big Eyed Girl, Captain Hindsight. No inch was given, but it's Captain Hindsight who's going to beat Big Eyed Girl. Zenobi's won a cracking race in 3rd, and Razara's come from the back to run 4th. Further back was Texas Red, Stormy Seas, and Fly Isabella Fly. Let's have a look at that photo. We'll pop that up on the screen. It'll be with you in just a moment. Well done to Tony Peter, well done to the Sham family, to Mark, Dorry and the rest of the team. They'll be very happy. Bred by Claverflay Stud Farm, and he now becomes a 9-time winner from 46 outings. So we'll try and bring that photo up for you. There we go, thanks to Ricky. You can see there's definitely a margin for number 1, Captain Hindsight, ahead of Big Eyed Girl, Zenobi and Razara.
You know, on form, she's obviously the one to beat. Nice show. She's a bit keen at the moment, especially in her work. I'm hoping she relaxes with me and, you know, use that at the finish. I'm hoping for a good run.
Any other rides that are favourable?
I've really got the back end of the stick in today's meeting. Got terrible draws, but if I had to point my neck out, I'd probably say the one in the last. Got the worst questioning to beat there, but most has had his excuses.
Grant, thanks very much. I'm sure Grant Reynolds will enjoy the positive comments about Kimball O'Hara in the last race. Back to Grant.
Kimball O'Hara, MJ, your absolute favourite. Let's not go down that road. We'll save it for the last race. We will do a bit of questioning, rather. 7 Strata, Candice Robinson, Aldo Meyer, they team up. Also, it's been knocking on the door and knocking pretty loudly. Finished 2nd in 2 its last 3 starts, then last time out, a decent 3rd behind Lady Lookalike. Certainly a runner that could give plenty of cheek to number 3, Red Moon Rising. 5, Lady of Vision, Pit Burtzer, Keenan Stain needs to improve. They have fitted a tongue tie today. 9, Listen to the Ocean, Greg Enyon, Richard Ferree. A little bit of support in the marketplace. This horse improved dramatically last time out behind Gimme the Waltz. That was definitely its best run yet, and there could be a bit more improvement to come. 10, Enchanted Sky, Glenn Cotson, Raymond Danielson needs to improve. That middle run is obviously of interest because that was a decent 3rd behind Oni Sun. And a repeat of that could certainly see the Daughter of Visionaire run a much better race. Then 11, Ice Rain, Corne Orpha, 3-year-old Daughter of Verse and Getrix out of a Western Wintermare. This one 4, Mrs. Platner and La Plazan Stud. And a word from the team insofar as the first timer comments for race number 4, Ice Rain. Had a gallop, should run well. Song for myself, Candice Robinson could run a fair race. My True Love, Candice Robinson will need further. And 2, Glee Club, Greg Enyon doing very well at home, but will need further. So those are the first timer comments. And the jocks are going to be mounting up. We see that number 1 is leaving the parade ring, and they'll be making their way down to the start for race number 4.
Race number 4, the World Sports Betting Bet with the best maiden plate for fillies and mares over 1,250 meters. In picture number 1, $1 Million Girl, Jabu Jacobs. Take note of the scratching of number 12, Fatal Gem, which leaves us with a field of 12 runners. Opening leg of today's jackpot. The rest of the runners making their way out onto the course. Number 8 is Lady of Vision, Keenan Stang. Number 9, Listen to the Ocean, and Richard Ferree. Next runner onto the course is number 10, Enchanted Sky, and Raymond Danielson. Number 11, Ice Rain, Corne Orfer. There's a look at number 13, National Disgrace, and Craig Zaki. Number 2 is Glee Club and Bernard Fedherb. Number 3, Red Moon Rising, Grant van Niekerk. Number 4, Trey Sheik and Diego de Rivera. First runner to turn and canter down to the start is number 1, $1 Million Girl. Being followed by number 8, Lady of Vision. In picture number 9, Listen to the Ocean. Number 10 is Enchanted Sky, being followed by number 3, Red Moon Rising. Number 4 is Trey Sheik, being followed by number 11, Ice Rain. Number 2 is Glee Club. On the far side, number 5, My True Love and Morne Vinnar. Number 13 is National Disgrace. And that leaves us with one more runner. Who's turning to canter down to the start is number 6, Son of Myself, the ride of Gareth Wright. Those are the runners and riders for the 4th race of the afternoon, the opening leg of today's jackpot. In picture, the striding number 6, Son of Myself. So cross on downstairs to the on-course team for the preview of race number 4. The off time is at 3 o'clock.
As we go into race 4, nice to have Brett Crawford chatting to us. Brett, you've got National Disgrace, a bit of an unfortunate wide draw. Are you hoping for some improvement?
Vicky, we're going to drop her in and, let her run on. It's very hard to beat that draw. So, definitely hoping for improvement, but it's not going to be easy from that wide draw.
Race 5, number 10, you've got Luca Verde. Lovely debut. What are you expecting today?
Yeah, look, he ran a very good race on debut. He's come on immensely at home. Unfortunately, also a poor draw to overcome, so we're going to need a bit of luck in running. But he's a very nice horse, progressing well, so I'm expecting a very competitive run.
In race 6, is Donamo going to appreciate the step up and trip?
Yeah, without a doubt. She's improved with each and every run. She's a nice, tough filly, and I think she's definitely a filly for the quartets today.
Race 7, Bardolino, never too far off, and thankfully nice lightweight today.
Yeah, I don't think he's appreciated the really soft ground at Kenilworth, so I'm hoping today, with the ground being a bit firmer, that he'll find his form, because he's definitely got the ability. He's also got a 3-pound drop from when he was competitive, so that can only but help him. So it'd be a horse that I would definitely consider today, and I think he can get into the money today.
And then the last of your runners in race 8, Master Vigilante, I think he was doing a little bit of a rain dance leading up to today. He seems to have enjoyed the softer going.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, we're stepping him up in trip today, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes over the 7 furlong. But his work at home's been really good, and if he appreciates the trip, then he's definitely a horse to consider for all your swingers and trifectas.
Brett, thank you very much. All the best.
Pleasure.
That's Brett Crawford taking us through his runners, Grant, and race 4, lovely, another competitive race on the card.
Vicky, nice to get Brett's comments because he's got a couple of really nice runners coming up soon, and we'll be hearing from them a little bit later, I'm almost sure. But let's talk about the horses here for our next race. He's been a bit of support in the market. Anti-post for the 2 Glee Club, Bernard Faidher for Greg Enion. How did that look in the ring, MJ?
Yeah, good day, Grant. She probably on look, she needs to improve a little bit more to be very competitive here. But yeah, nice filly, and she moved nicely down to the start.
All right, now number 3, Red Moon Rising. Daughter of Give Me the Green Light out of a Jetmaster mare. That's a combination that really does work, that Nick. Grant van Niekerk jumps on board. This horse, MJ, has improved every start. Have a look from the first start to the second start to the last start. Draw 3 today again. Grant van Niekerk just got tipped off in the last race. I think this is going to be very hard to beat.
Yeah, a bit of a day of favourites, and I think she'll follow up. Grant, just speaking to Grant van Niekerk, he just thought that the last 2 1400s, she's a bit keen at home. The 1200 here, she's drawn well. He says he'll be able to settle her, and he's hoping to go a bit quick so she can drop the bit. But she definitely looked the best in the parade ring, and a nice, promising filly. And if she wins convincingly, I think it's maybe one. She looks like she'll just keep on improving. Very nice filly.
She was a little bit headstrong in the Kent's past.
A little bit, as Grant's mentioned. She's a bit keen at home, so hence the dropping in distance. It would be favourable here. There should be a little bit of speed on here. I don't know if Strata might be a bit keen from draw 7 and get across. She should settle, and she's a nice big filly, and I'm sure she'll win.
Number 4, Trey Schick. Justin Snaith, Diego de Gavea jumps on board. Another horse that's improved each start. I think this is a bit of a lurker for a nice each-way prospect.
Yes, Grant, looking in the parading, she looks like she'll probably improve even more with another run. Just as they come on look about it, she probably looked second best to the favourite. She nice filly, but it just looks like she could need one more run to be very competitive.
All right, but I think another improved run there today.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
5, My True Love, the Daughter of Horizon, out of a Lundy's Liability mare, bred out at Mutanzuk, and Morne Vino jumps on board. Word from Candice was that this horse is looking for further, so maybe not today. 6, Song for Myself. Bit of a whisper on course for this horse today, MJ. Some of the grooms were chatting about it, and Candice also said that they're expecting quite a forward run from the Daughter of Canford Cliffs.
Yeah, I think both Candice's fillies, just looking at the parading, they look like they didn't look ready. Number 6 Song Myself definitely look a little bit more advanced than My True Love. But just give you like sort of the look that they will enjoy a run and a bit of experience. She's certainly going down very nicely, and wouldn't surprise one at all if she runs into the placings.
Certainly a little bit of a look around, but she's certainly got an action that you can follow. I wouldn't be leaving this out of a quartet.
No, I must say, what she looked like in the parading compared to going down, she's a lot more forward going down and more professional. She had a proper look around the parading, and a nice filly, so she can only improve from the start wherever she runs.
She looks like she's really enjoying herself on the way down to the start, doesn't she?
That's for sure.
Right, Vicky's joined us as well. Vicky 7, Strata. This is Candice Robinson and Alda de Meyer. She's obviously confident, but she gave you a bit of a nudge that 6 Song of Myself will run well.
Yes, she did indeed, and so much so, I know MJ's touched on Song of Myself. She looked impeccable in the parade ring, went down very well, and her condition, she looked very well prepared.
All right, they're all loading up. Let's hand up to Devon, and then it'll be Jahan taking over from race 5.
Thank you very much, Grant. Loading process underway. About half the field has stepped forward. National Distress moves in. Glee Club, the next to load, moves up. Trey Chic steps forward. Son of Myself. Ice Rain moves in. Strata steps forward. And Enchanted Sky to complete the field. Moves in. Set for a start, flag goes up from behind. Gates crash open and they're sent on their way from the 1,250 meter mark. Ice Rain is just a little bit slow into stride, as well as National Disgrace. Give them a chance to settle fully into stride. Son of Myself responded quite well with Listen to the Ocean, who's pushing forward to go and dictate the early pace. Further back in the running is Strata, who's in that one-out position, being followed by Glee Club. $1 Million Girls battle on the inside rail, racing 3 lengths off the early speed. Red Moon Rising's racing a good 4 to 5 lengths alongside Trey Sheet. Then comes Enchanted Sky, racing just ahead of My True Love. Towards the back end of the field is Lady of Vision, Ice Rain and National Disgrace. Completes the field. It's a nice run-out field, about 12 lengths separating top to tail. As they're homeward bound with just on 600 meters, Listen to the Ocean is out in front by 1.5 lengths. Down towards the inside rail is Son of Myself, moving up with $1 Million Girl. Strata is still hard out at the moment, traveling quite well. Deeper out is Glee Club with Red Moon Rising. As they're into the final 300 meters, they spread right across the track. Listen to the Ocean now get challenged by Son of Myself. Strata down the center with Glee Club. Red Moon Rising is running on smartly on the outside. Down towards that inside is Son of Myself, who's in front with Glee Club. Red Moon Rising doing best work late. Glee Club in front. Red Moon Rising over the top. Line comes. Red Moon Rising gets there. Glee Club in second. Then came Son of Myself in third. Got close between Enchanted Sky and Trey Sheet for fourth. Red Moon Rising came right down towards the outside of the runners, down the center of the track. A brilliant ride by Grant Fanica to get this over the line. As out in front, Lead Club moved up into a promising position. Also a great effort on debut by Son of Myself. But it's all about number 3, Red Moon Rising, in the winner's box for race number 4. Red Moon Rising, the winner, from number 2, Lead Club, into second. Then came number 6, Son of Myself, in that third spot. In fourth, it goes to number 10, Enchanted Sky, who will complete the quartet, followed by Trey Sheet, Ice Rain, Strata, Listen to the Ocean, and the rest of the runners a long way back. Number 3, Red Moon Rising. On the left-hand side of the runners, the red stalks with the blue cap, the sheepskin noseband, Grant Fanica, and his utmost best here to get him over the line. You can see the pressure down towards the inside. Lead Club looked like a winner with 100 meters left to go. Son of Myself down towards the inside, a really good effort on debut, but number 3, Red Moon Rising, and a galvanizing effort by Grant Fanica, gets over the line for race number 4.
Welcome back to Turffontein Parade Ring Centre for race number 7 this afternoon. And market at the moment has got Tuscan Gold, who we heard Nico chatting to Tony Peter about, and every reason to believe that Tuscan Gold is the right horse at the top of the weights, 61 kilos, very fit horse. Coming in hot is 13-2. Runaway Bomb, also from that same stable, is on offer at 13-2. Ampersand from the Paul Matchett stable is at 9-1 at the moment. And Aralina, also from that yard, is at 8-1. Rocking the time away comes off a poly-track win at Greyville last time out. Is at 11-1, and you can get 14-1 and better about the balance. There hasn't really been any significant market support for anything, but just looking at the form, the one horse that did interest me a lot was Coming in Hot, because his last start was behind Meet the Captain. Dark Tide came and won from that form line, and so too did Law of Success. So you might think to yourself, with Paul Matchett being the trainer of Law of Success, that he would have a measure of understanding about the form and the strength of the form, but he's got Ampersand in this race, and Ampersand's just had the one win out of these 6 starts. Last time out, I guess you could just say that maybe it was the second run after the rest syndrome, bearing in mind that the horse had not run since the middle of May, and then came out and won fresh on the 4th of July when beating Green Garnet. There was a winner from that form line, a horse by the name of Prince of Kildare, and Daring Act came out and ran second, one run back. But I'm going to try a little bit of ambushing tactics right now. It doesn't often work, but maybe Mr. Binder's just going to have a few seconds to talk to me about Life Goes On. A man who turns his horses out exceptionally well, knows how to feed, knows how to prepare them. Thanks for accepting this kind invitation. Not that you've got much choice.
Yeah, no. Yeah, he's got a chance. Only problem with this horse, he hangs out all the time. But we've tried him. We put blinkers on, but he's only got blinkers on the left-hand side to try and stop him hanging out. He's run on the course 4 times. He's won one runner. I think he ran second the other time. He must have a chance, but if he doesn't hang, it's something of late that he does. So let's hope he gets over it.
Yeah, look, I mean, for a man who's been in the game for as long as you have, when a horse hangs out, I guess the first thing you do is you look at the shoes, you look at, is there some imbalance? Where do you start?
No, it's just his mindset, you know. He's like tries to overdo it, but also goes towards the outside. But, you know, I'm hoping the blinkers help. He's also actually got shoes on as well, so he doesn't usually have shoes on. But they're going so hard now, it's pointless running without shoes. So he's got a half set on in front.
I can't help myself ask you about one of my favorite horses in racing, Whirly Whirly. What a fantastic performance last time out. I'm sure that he is going to win another race.
Yeah, you know, we can go to all the other tracks, but his best track is Vaal Straight. Yeah, Vaal Straight, you look at his performance there, and especially over 1,400 up to a mile. But yeah, he'll win again soon. But he's enjoying his work now, so let's see. He'll obviously try and win another one with him.
Saved by the bell.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Clinton. Thanks to Kelvin. Right, what else are we going to do right now? Let's take a walk across to the parade ring and let's see who we can lasso. I think there was some sort of insight. Yes, you know what? I've been told by a young man by the name of Sean Patterson that this particular race is called the For Racing Thanks and Apprentices Stidolf Racing. Okay, so he represents that stable, and they've got a huge outsider in the race by the name of Smelting, who ran quite poorly last time out. Behind Here's the Tiger, and before that ran behind There She Goes. But there's absolutely no harm in finding out from Sean exactly what he thinks, because it's disrespectful when they sponsor the race not to have a little comment of how the horses come through the preparation. Bad draw to overcome, but the instructions have been given to Nathan Klink. And Sean, just one quick word from you. Thanks very much for sponsoring the race. I know you can get a leg up by the groom. Or what are you thinking here?
Oh, look, she's very quick out the gates. It wasn't our intention to run her here, but as thank you to 4 Racing for naming the race after a small satellite yard of the British startups. She's seldom run a bad race here, but this is quite a strong field. But I'd be happy if she runs in the first 5.
Fantastic, Sean. Good job. Well done to you. Right, Tony Peter having won the previous race, Nico had a good chance to chat to him about his chances. But one of the finest men that you'll ever find in the racing business is a gentleman by the name of Butch, and he hails from KwaZulu-Natal. His name's Richard Fitzgerald. Just a very, very quick word from Paul Matchett about the preparedness of ampersand matches.
Yeah, Andrew is working well. We've put the apprentice to claim 2.5 kilos. He's now carrying 61.5, but the 2.5 off his back could help him. And look, running against old horses is not easy. He's just obviously turned 3, and we're expecting a fair run. He should be involved in the first 4.
Okay, well, Matches has decided to put the apprentice on, obviously, because when you take a look at Ampersand's form, you know, he got a merit rating of 85 for his win over Green Garnet, which you might think to yourself is just a little bit on the steep side, but you know, ultimately these the handicappers, they've got figures to work with, and only the race course can tell whether they're right or wrong. But you have to claim a little bit of weight over here, and the horses are nearing the end of the chute, and Brandon Bailey will take them down to the start. This is a 1,200 meter round the bend, where obviously one's hoping for a decent amount of pace. If you are drawn deeply, Ampersand is drawn at 7, which is not a terrible draw. But let's go and join Brandon Bailey to take them to the post as Ampersand heads up the field.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. Again, some good feedback coming out of the back parade ring. I'm sure the punters highly appreciate it. Here's number 1, Ampersand, and Sianda Sosibo on the way down to the start. Their quartet pool went to 24,000 Rand. 3's coming in Hearts and Donald Geertsen. A wide open race for your favorites. Number 2, Tuscan Gold. There goes Aralina, number 4, and Dennis Schwarz. Number 6 is Runway Bomb, Jason Gates. Number 5 is Time is Ticking, and Caden Brewer. 7, Rocking the Time Away. That's a red cap. Marco van Rensburg gets the ride. Number 5, Time is Ticking. Written in Stone, number 9, and Jeffrey Seister. So they go to the 1,200. The 8 horse is Life Goes On, Calvin Abib. Here's number 11, Smelting, and Nathan Klink. And that's another look at Aralina, who's back from 406 days off the racetrack. Number 12 is Treaty and Jared Penny. And there goes Rock On Captain, number 10, with JP van der Merwe. Let's have a look at the market. The favourites, Tuscan Gold, number 2. We're still waiting for Tuscan Gold. Just to have a good look at that one, 5-2. Number 3 coming in hot, 7-1. 6 Runway Bomb, 7-1. Aralina, number 4 at 8-1, and at 17-2 and better those. Here's the favourite with Gavin Larena, number 2 Tuscan Gold, trainer being Tony Peter. So all the exotics are officially underway. You've still got option of getting involved with the Win Place, Exacta, Trifecta, Swinger and Exacta bets on the totes. They're still racing from the Western Cape as well. Let's not waste time. It's a 68 handicap. Let's go to Nico Kritsiotis and to Andrew Bond. Hopefully we can find the winner over here for race 7.
Welcome back, and you're joining us back at Turffontein, and we're on to our next race, quickly getting through the card today. And Andrew, we've seen the horses go to post for race number 7. We've heard what the connection had to say. Thanks very much for doing your relevant interviews there. What is your top choice here? Let's go to you first this race.
Yeah, I'm probably leaning towards Tuscan Gold, not just because he's at the top of the bookmakers' betting boards, but you know, here's a horse that came from Cape Town, and he's had quite a bit of racing since he's got up from Cape Town. But, you know, he must have arrived here a very fit horse, because he ran on the 5th of August when he got beaten by Lauderdale. And I must admit, I think, I'm not quite sure whether it was you or Brandon calling that day, but it really looked, to all intents and purposes, as Tuscan Gold had the race by the scruff of the neck with 200 meters to go, and he just seemed to run out of puff. I don't know if it was my imagination, but that's what I thought.
Yeah, I think you were quite correct over there. As you heard from Tony, Tony said they really think they should have won that day, and then he said it ran very flat the next time round. But he says a tremendous workhorse at home is Tuscan Gold, and he, by the sound of things, said that he was going to go close today. I thought the principal dangers to him were the coupling from Farney Bronkhorst's yard, coming in hot and rocking the time away. Any confidence from the stable there?
Yes, he's always very obliging, and he did say that he thought Coming In Hot is a big, strong fella. You know, he said that this horse can deliver some really good. He's a 5-year-old. He's a man. And, you know, he's been beaten 2 lengths by Funky Music. I don't have to tell you that Funky Music's just rattled off basically 3 wins and a second in his last few starts. He's a very, very decent horse, is Funky Music. So that's good enough for me. And then he did say that he thought that the stable companion, Rocking the Time Away, by the very underrated Time Thief, won well on the poly. But that form hasn't really delivered much other than English Primrose, who won next time out for the Badenhorse stable. But I don't think that race was anywhere near as strong as the races that Coming In Hot has run. So I would prefer Coming In Hot to Rocking the Time Away.
Okay, anything else that tickles your fancy in terms of place money? You've been quite good with the horses, with some roughies that have run into trifectas and quartet money. Anything that you feel that can run a drum here?
Yeah, I think Written in Stone. I'm just trying to see what the market check. Written in Stone's 18 to 1.
Yeah, it's a rank outsider.
It's a rank outsider, but there is collateral form with Written in Stone and a horse by the name of Tuscan Gold. He only finished 1 1/4 lengths behind Tuscan Gold last time out, behind Fort Lauderdale. And on that occasion, if you go to the race, you'll see that Tuscan Gold was carrying 57.5 and Written in Stone 52 on that occasion. And in this particular race, what have we got? We've got Tuscan Gold. Just got to go back to those. Tuscan Gold is on 61 and Written in Stone is on 54. That's very similar kind of weight turnaround. So on that basis, Written in Stone has got it all to do because of the draw. It's not easy to win from draw 9 over 1,200 meters, but definitely a trifecta and quartet inclusion, I would think.
Okay, so it's Tuscan Gold for both you and I. I think just judging on what Tony Peter had to tell us, that we're leaning towards that. My roughie in the race was this horse, actually. Life Goes On. This is Kelvin Hubbard teaming up with Clint Binder. See, they've put a half set of alamites on him, and they've got the blinkers on today. But what I'm negative about is the fact that they're starting to sweat up down there.
Yeah, Clinton was actually very forthright about the chances of this horse. He says it's pointless running horses in this type of conditions with no shoes on. There's just no grip, and there's so much dead grass on the track that they slip. But there's very, very good reason to think that Life Goes On has got some sort of a prayer, because the race behind Meet the Captain revealed that Dark Tide came out and won next time out. And so too did Law of Success from the Matchet Yard. Coming In Hot was in between that. So Life Goes On, I think you're not, it's not sign of madness to put that in your trifectas and quartets at all.
Okay, they are loading up. Let's cross to Brandon Bailey for the call. It is race 7. They're down at the 1,200 meter mark.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks, Nico. Thanks, Andrew. They're loading up for race 7. So Rock On Captain is about to move into line. Runway Bomb. The Silks of Suzette and Barcy Fillion go in. Tuscan Gold, that's your 5-2 favourite. Smelting, about to move up into line. Time is ticking and Life Goes On. That'll be the last 2, and we'll be ready to send them back for race number 7. They line up at the 1,200 meter marker, so we wait for Life Goes On. and time is ticking. We're just about ready. Calls to let them go, flags up, and away they go. Runway Bomb, one of the first to respond. Life Goes On is up there. Rock On Captain also shows a bit of speed. Just in behind them is Tuscan Gold looking for some cover. Smelting got the 2 shades of blue. Then comes Rock On Captain, who's got the white cap, the sheepskin noseband, about 3 or 4 lengths off them. Further back is Rock in a Time Away. Coming in hot, lost a few positions with Treaty. Then comes Aralina, who races in the second half of the field. Ampersand got the red sleeves and the red cap. Time is ticking, about 6 or 7 off them, and out back is Written in Stone, who has been dropped out for a run. They're homeward bound, and Life Goes On with Runway Bomb. On the inside is Tuscan Gold. Smelting comes to the outside. Rock On Captain's in the center. Ampersand, Treaty. Then comes Rock in the Time Away. Coming in hot, Aralina. To the outside is Time is Ticking. There's only 350 meters left to go, and in front is Runway Bomb, but here comes Ampersand. Ampersand comes at Runway Bomb. Life Goes On. Runway Bomb, Ampersand. Runway Bomb and Ampersand. Ampersand got to the lead from Runway Bomb. Ampersand looking for the line, coming in hot, lashing home, but too late. It's Ampersand who weaves victory to win, going away, coming in hot, takes off to run second. Runway Bomb behind that. Further back was Written in Stone. Good finish, nothing from Tuscan Gold. And then came Life Goes On. So let's have a look at this quickly. It's Ampersand. I'll tell you, would have been a very unlucky loser. This horse was going to come out for a run in the dying stride. Sianda Sosibo said, I have to go in. He's going to scramble home with Ampersand. Coming in hot, takes off with Donald Kiertsen on the inside to run second. Runway Bomb runs a cracker for Jason Gates and Tony Peter third. And then came Written in Stone from the back end of the field. That was a very good finish. They were coming from everywhere. Nothing, unfortunately, from Tuscan Gold, who was given every chance by Gavin Larena. Life Goes On came to the outside, bagged the fence. Runway Bomb took an awkward stride there. If you happen to see that again, Runway Bomb just took an awkward stride at about the 120. And Ampersand, low flying, going to do enough for Paulie Matchett. Well done to Mr. R.T. Fitzgerald. Bred by the Fastfontein Stud Farm, becomes a 2-time winner from 7 outings. Top Run coming in hot. One more jump, probably different results. Runway Bomb, like I say, took that awkward stride, runs third, and Written in Stone was in fourth. 1, 3, 6, and 9. Numbers that you need as I hand you back to the studio. Just 2 more to come.
Well, fantastic stuff from Ampersand. It'll be a
winner slots at maiden plate over 1,600 meters, leaving the parade ring. First one out is number 1, Marshall Field, Corne Alpha. Two is Winning Captain, going Bantam. 3, Master of Paris, Diego de Gavea. 4 is Storm Boulevard, Gareth Wright. 6, Diamond Rock, Aldo de Maya. 7, Firing on All Engines, Raymond Danielson. 8, Das Gute, Keenan Stein. Green cap for 9, Lord Fifield, Anthony Andrews. 10, Luce Verde, Louis Nkotwa. 11, Few Dollars More, Mornay Vinard. 12 is Jovial, Ozzie Noach. 13, Norshan, Bernard Faidherb. And 14, Greenland, Grant Finney Kirk. Cantering down to Winning Captain. 1, Marshall Field. 3, Master of Paris. 4, Storm Boulevard. 8, Das Gute. 9, Lord Fifield. 7, firing on all engines. 10 is Luce Verde. 11, a few dollars more. 12, Jovial. 14, Greenland. 'Last one to canter down for race number 5 is number 13, Norshan. Cross back for the previews.
Race 5, World Sports Betting Spinner Winner slots the maiden plate over the 1600 metres. With me is Lucinda Woodruff, who is the trainer of number 1 Marshallfield. Lucinda obviously has been very consistent, comes down in trip. Is that a concern for you?
No, Vix, I think he needs a bit of a pace. So coming down to the mile was tactical. Also, there weren't many races for him because most of the races over ground are open handicap or open maidens. So he's always coming in there with 61.5, and it hasn't been easy for him. So we thought that he comes in a lot better into a normal maiden plate.
Lucinda, all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's Lucinda Woodruff about number 1 Marshallfield, and as she said, coming down in trip is a benefit as he needs a bit of a pace, and Grant and MJ most certainly that's what Marshallfield will get out at Hollywood Bets Durbanville.
Thanks, Vicky. Yeah, and a very happy birthday to Lucinda Woodruff. Let's hope that she can get a winner on the special day. Marshallfield ticks a lot of the boxes. It's pole position. I know he's been a little bit unlucky. He's obviously bumped a couple of horses that are obviously better than him, but he's also had a couple of rushes where he's been cramped for galloping room. So he's not far off winning, and today could well be his day.
Yeah, Grant, last time with the blinkers, first time you could see that he actually got into the race a little bit closer, and it made a big difference. And he's been unlucky, and you'd think that it wouldn't need the blinkers because he's just been unlucky, but it looks like the blinkers has made the difference. He's got the draw this time. He should be in a good position. Some of these younger horses, I think they'll struggle to beat him today. I think today is his day.
I tend to agree with you. I think today could well be his day. And I think it was good that you went and chatted to Louis McCotto as well, because Louis actually also makes him the horse to beat, and he's on the principle.
Yes, interesting that Louis, as Louis said, like the horse surprised him a bit first time out. So it's one of those horses that we've said before. It's like if they surprise you first time out, then it could be a decent horse, or it could be just running out of his skin. But he is a nice horse.
He's a bit keen.
Yeah, as Louis said, the draw and the inexperience could be against him today.
And taking on older horses well over the 1600. So a lot to like about Marshallfield today. Vicky, you chatted to Lucinda. She must be pretty hopeful on her birthday to get herself a winner.
Well, I think the pressure's all on Cornell for riding Marshallfield, but I think also the fact that he's drawn 1 is a huge difference. He looks an absolute picture. He does look well, and I think more so than that, Lucinda's horses have been running very well. It's a yard that's very much in form, and I think, yeah, drawn 1, it just is that much easier. You know, you can dictate where you want to be, you're on the rail for nothing, etc., instead of trying to chase from a wide drawn and maybe find some luck. So Marshallfield, hopefully it can be his day.
Is it Bernard that said if he had 10 horses, he'd send it to him?
Yes.
It was him. I wonder if he's found the 10 horses yet.
Well, I'll tell you something right now. I'm going to be in the camp of Marshallfield. I think it's one of the better bets in the card, and I think he's going to take a power of beating. So there you go. That's my selection.
Oh, go with you. Did you see how well he went down, Grant?
He absolutely glided down. He looks really relaxed there. I think it's going to be his day. Vicky, you in the same camp?
I am in the same camp, yes.
All right, so all three of us, we're going with number 1, Marshallfield, to beat number 10, who obviously is a nice young horse in the making, but this might just be a little bit tough for him, taking on a really hard-knocking maiden who's had a bit of bad luck as well. 13, Nushan. This is the 5-year-old son of Dynasty out of a Western Wintermare. Penultimate run behind Spirits Unite was a cracking effort, so too the third behind Fly to Rear. Obviously, on that St. Silas form line, he does have a few lengths to find with the likes of Marshallfield, but there could be improvement.
Yes, I think put a line through his last start. He was a bit unlucky in the race. I think he ended up 3 wide and he didn't have the run of the race. Horse that'll definitely improve and run into the money.
Vicky, what did you make of number 14, Greenland? This is a horse that attracted a little bit of anti-post support. Grant Finnicker's obviously got the widest of draws, but one thing we do know, this horse is going to be absolutely thriving going the 1600, jumping up from the 1200.
Yeah, indeed. I think Greenland is looking for that type of trip, and Justin seemed to hint at that. I remember on debut, he was so impressive. You could see he needed the run and the experience. He's also had the 2 runs in the testing going, drawn widest of all down the straight, which normally isn't a concern, but as the going got heavier and softer, the horses do have to do a little bit more work from there. I just think that Greenland, if better drawn, I would have fancied him a bit more strongly. I think it's just going to be a bit of a challenge. I know that the mile is easier for a wide drawn horse because you've got the whole back straight to get in, but it's all pace dependent, and even though they do go a bit faster here, it doesn't seem, besides possibly Storm Boulevard, there doesn't really seem to be sort of an outright pacemaker, so it might catch him out a little bit.
2 other runners before they start loading up. 6 Diamond Rock, Candice Robinson, Alder de Meyer, also pretty consistent, but that run behind Zumi is a run that I think will be good enough to win if he puts that together.
Yeah, I like Diamond Rock. I think that he's a nice type of horse. And last time, I want to almost say a little bit disappointing, but that was the race meeting where there wasn't all that much work going into it from the training centres. And as I spoke to Candice, I think a meeting or 2 ago, and she said, you'll see a lot of my horses just improving. We couldn't work them. Typically, your horses don't enjoy the softer going. Not all of them, but you could see Diamond Rock's form. It almost, last time, it could have been the moment where he should have won, and the heavy going just got the better of him.
9 Lord Firefield, another one that ran behind St. Silas, was actually doing some good work in the closing stages. Came from quite a long way back. There's got to be more improvement to come there as well, MJ.
Yeah, he ran a fair race last time, and if you can follow up on that, he'll be a horse that'll be in the first 3 double. If you can win, ask if he can win this. I don't think so, but the horse to just follow 3-year-old that will improve maybe when we get back to Kenilworth. But he's not a bad horse at all.
And then an outsider, if you've still got a little bit of time to maybe take some swingers or exactors, number 4, Storm Boulevard. 4-year-old son of William Longsword out of the Street Crown mare. Forget about those last 2 runs. That run behind Rockpool would be right here on top of them.
Yeah, and Professor Snape itself, I mean, those 2 starts are decent starts. He hasn't run for quite a while, so yeah, you might need it, but yeah, a horse to follow maybe, Grant, just have a look to see how he runs here.
Yeah. Just looking at the form of that Rockpool form line, we know what the Snakes thought of that horse through his 3-year-old campaign, and you've got to think that if Storm Boulevard brings that type of run here,
decent looking also.
Yeah, he can also make his presence felt, and that's certainly a runner that we could give a lot of hope for in terms of improvement. Right, in terms of going forward, in terms of this race, we're all in the camp of Lucinda's runner, number 1, Marshall Field, and it is going to be Jahan Malherbe. He's going to be calling them into line for race number 5. They should be about to start that loading process. Jahan, over to you.
Thanks, Grant. They're at the start for race number 5. This is the World Sports Betting Spinner Winner Slots, the maiden plate over 1,600 metres. All the jockeys have mounted up. The loading process yet to commence. They are now being called to load. Jovial, the first to face up. Few dollars more. Winning captain being led forward. The green cap of Lord Fifield. The grey Master of Paris facing up. Das Gute moves in. Das Gute a little hesitant. Goes in this time. Master of Paris up next. Greenland to an outside gate. Diamond Rock goes in. Storm Boulevard. Luce Verde. Marshall Field. Firing on all engines. And Norshan completes the lineup. He goes in. And we are now set. 1600 meters. Gates are back. Off and racing, not a bad beginning, but Luce Verde was a little slow to stride and he's tucking in behind runners. Sort themselves out early on. It's Storm Boulevard who landed running and goes up looking for that early lead. Also going up handy is Winning Cap in the pink along the inside. That one's gone up to race in a good position. Racing just outside of that, Das Gute is also right there in the thick of things. Firing on all engines is also moving forward as they head into that far turn. That one's also up looking for a prominent position. Racing just in behind the leading group, Marshall Field is settling about 3 or 4 lengths off the speed. He's back at the fence and well enough placed at this stage as they enter that far turn with 900 meters left to go. Racing just in behind that one, we got Master of Paris racing well back with Greenland. He'd be 8 or 9 lengths off them midway round the turn. Storm Boulevard is out in front, shows the way. On the inside of that one, firing on all engines, races back in second. They followed by Das Gute, who races in third. Further back, Winning Capital corner in that 4th position. On the outside of those, Marshall Field is now creeping a little closer. He's trying to get into the race, and Greenland is tracking that one towards the outside. Back towards their inside, we've got Lord Fifield in the green cap. Storm Boulevard, meantime, has come forward to pick it up in the centre of the course, and Storm Boulevard is on the lead. Das Gute racing up in second behind that. Luce Verde towards the inside is making good progress from the back of the field and is running on nicely down that inside running rail. And Luce Verde, despite the sluggish start, has now come forward to pick it up. He's going on well, but Norshan comes out the back now and chases hard. Luce Verde needs the line. Norshan's coming home strongly, but along the inside, Luce Verde will do enough from Norshan. In behind them, Greenland kicked on best the rest to get that 3rd placing. Closing stages down the inside, the 10, Luce Verde comes home strongly. 13, Norshan, who's also well back early on, comes to make a race of it. He's charging home up the inside running rail. But the line's going to come in time. 10, Luce Verde wins from 13, Norshan. Back in second. Greenland, number 14, will finish in third, just ahead of Diamond Rock into that 4th placing. They were followed by Lord Fifield. Behind that, Das Gute. Down the inside, Storm Boulevard. And the rest are a long way back. Storm Boulevard was in front at this stage, but he is now running on empty. Your winner is slipping through down to the rail is number 10, Luce Verde. He comes on well. He's going to be tracked by Norshan, who also comes from the back of the field and goes for that inside running rail. But number 10 follows up on his good debut and takes out race number 5 here at Hollywood Bets Durbanville.
welcome back to Turffontein for race number 8. The bell is about to sound any second now. And it's an interesting race with the top weight being a horse called Mercantor, whose half-brother ran earlier on today. And for the life of me, I'm just absolutely not able to bring up that information right now. But I do remember mentioning it during the course of the day. Tyconaut tries the trip, Cabinet Shuffle, Danilo Danilovic. Quantum Theory, as Tony Peter said, was the horse that everybody would have to beat in this race. Team Gold's not without a chance. But I found a horse over here that I think is outstanding value. I'm not informed to any extent by the stable how well this horse is, but I do know one thing. When you've been champion trainer as many times as Sean Terry's been champion trainer, you don't send a horse like River Carraris to the racetrack unless it's absolutely spot on. And the run behind Bless My Stars last time out was an outstanding run. Bless My Stars came out after having run third in the Hollywood Bets July. She won the 2,000-meter Golden Slipper in a common canter on the last day of the season, and she's definitely one of the leading lights as far as champion 3-year-old filly is concerned. So I remember walking through the stable once upon a time with Paul Peter, and he showed me this filly River Carraris, and he said, "This is a bomb." And her form said it all. She's really run some fantastic races. And she now, obviously having moved stables during that transitionary phase, is a horse that has to be reckoned with seriously. I've had a good look at her in the parade ring, and she's looking very good indeed. I do need to speak to one or two people in respect of the chances of their runners. I'm just going to see if I can take a real huge chance over here, and as soon as Robbie Sage, no, in fact, he's not going to put Muzieni aboard. It's Joe that's going to put Muzieni aboard. I'm just going to take a real long shot chance and see if Robbie Sage doesn't see me sneaking up behind him to ask him what he thinks of the chances of Quantum Theory as he leaves the parade ring.
Yeah, he might be short of a gallop, drawn wide. Going to try tactics, just lay off a sit at the back if we can, and hopefully gives us a good kick in the finish.
So Muzi knows this horse really well, and Tony Peter in his summary of the race said he's clearly the class horse of the race. Do you concur with that?
Yeah, he's a decent sort of horse, and I think you should, well, hopefully do it.
Fantastic, Robbie. Thank you very much indeed. You see, it's not how many words you say, but what you say, and it's very short and sweet and to the point. And I can tell you that I had a chat to Robin Claassen earlier on, who has got a horse in the race called Cabinet Shuffle, and Cabinet Shuffle went down to KwaZulu-Natal in his last start, and he ran against the best sprinters in the land. And I'm thinking that coming back to the Highveld, going over 1,600 meters might be exactly what Cabinet Shuffle's looking for. So just to let you know exactly what kind of horses Cabinet Shuffle ran against last time out, if my computer will allow me to do so. This horse finished only 3 lengths behind Isivungu Vungu, who is one of the leading lights for champion sprinter. Sergey, a top sprinter on his day. Thunderstruck, a grade 1 winner. Gimme a Prince, a grade 1 winner. William Robertson, a grade 1 winner. And Gladiatorian. So that's a very, very strong race. And in that same race was Danilo Danilovic. And I can tell you that I also spoke to Casey earlier on, and she did say to me that Team Gold on that run behind Eye of the Prophet and Quantum Theory is a very, very big runner. But as I go to the post, that's Tyconaut. Brandon Bailey will tell us more.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. There's number 2, Tyconaut, and Dennis Schwarz on the way down to the starts. Number 1 is Mercantor, Calvin Abib. There goes number 3, Cabinet Shuffle, Cabello Mazzaniane. Number 4 is Danilo Danilovic, the rider Filisande and Crowley. The Silks of Bronwell Tobias. The 5 is Quantum Theory and Muzieni. The class package in the race is Quantum Theory. There goes number 7, Tazona and Caden Brewer. Number 6 is Team Gold, JP van der Merwe. We're still 4 minutes away from post time. We're your favourites. Number 5, Quantum Theory at 22 to 10. 9 is River Quararis and Jeffrey Seister. And here's number 8, Running Rifles, and that'll be the ride of Jason Gates. So market has Quantum Theory number 5, 22 to 10, just about to go 28 to 10. Number 7, Tazona, 9 to 2. The 4, Danilo Danilovic at 5 to 1. 3, Cabinet Shuffle, 13 to 2. 6, Team Gold, 9 to 1. And it's 14 to 1 in bets of those. There's Jason Gates on number 8, Running Rifles, and that's got the white cap on the way down to the start. So we're only 3 minutes away from post time. They'll get to the start, they'll check their saddles, and they'll be sent back on their way. Let's go downstairs to Nico Kritsiotis and to Andrew Bonn, and they'll tell us a bit more about race 8.
Right, competitive event for race number 8, and it doesn't get any easier. It's been a tough old day. I see that the bipod paid over 5,000 rand, so that's paid quite a bit of money today. The PA is rolling along pretty nicely too. And we've had the runners canter past for race number 8. Let's link in with Andrew. Andrew, thanks for chatting to Robbie Sage. His horses ran flat earlier on. I just hope that that trend doesn't continue here. That said, Quantum Theory's always been well above average, hasn't he?
Yeah, he is. Very, very decent horse. And, you know, Robbie did remark that he thought he might just be in need of this run. But having said that, there's not a lot in this horse's favour today. With the way the track is running, the horses are not quickening that much from behind, bar coming in hot. He finished like a rocket.
Well, I'll tell you quickly while you say that, is all the number 1s have arrived. So in the jackpot, it's 1-1-1 going into this race.
My goodness, yeah.
So that would mean that Mercantor going on the lines would probably be a likely winner, but he's trying 1,500 for the first time.
Yeah, I had a look at this horse Mercantor because I noticed that one of his brothers or sisters ran earlier on today. He's out of a mare called Winterwood, and he's obviously by VAR. And the horse concerned was called My Lady Soul, who Lucky Larkus.
Yes.
No. Sorry, Tyron
Zaki.
Zaki. My apologies.
Yeah. Which flashed up and ran a cracking race.
Not enough money next time out if she makes the expected improvement. But we don't have a lot of time. I'm just going to highlight the horse that I thought has got a massive chance here. And the last time I looked at the betting, she was on offer at 25 to 1. And her name is River Quararis, because Paul Peter once told me this is an absolute machine. And I know that after having won 3 in a row and having beaten Rock the Fox and Heart and Mind, Magic Tycoon, Karangatang, she ran to Mercantor. There's considerable collateral form.
Wow, that run to Mercantor. She's got a stone cold.
She's 4 to 10 there. And now she's run 2 lengths behind Bless My Stars, who's come out and won in a common canter in Durban on the final day of the Champions season, 3rd in the July. If River Quararis brings her A game with this kind of weight on her back, I think they're all standing in the queue.
That said, the form horses would have to be Quantum Theory, Tony Peters, Duo, Tazona, and Running Rifles, and Robin Claessen's horse Cabinet Shuffle. I wasn't outruling a chance for Team Gold. You'll remember that Team Gold won over 50 metres short in that Spring Challenge last year, that Joburg Spring Challenge, wasn't it? Or it was something else?
Yes, it was.
At the Spring Spree Stakes was where it was, the beginning of September race.
Yeah, I mean, and look at this his last start was behind Quantum Theory and Eye of the Prophet, and Eye of the Prophet has run subsequently twice.
I was touched off on Thursday.
Yeah, well, he's had the Roy Magna Hoodie. He's been beaten by Melich and, of course, by Emirates Gina last time out. So I hope it doesn't happen again.
So again, it's been extremely competitive. Numerous horses come into it, but you're settled on an each-way run from River Quararis, number 9, the filly.
Yeah, and I have great respect for Cabinet Shuffle on that run behind Isivunguvu, the right trip. It's a minefield of the race. If I had to take a quartet, I'd be taking Cabinet Shuffle, Danilo Danilovic and River Carraris as my roving bankers and fill it up. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Team Gold run well again, as you alluded to.
Yeah, I think so. And Cabinet Shuffle, by the way, we were just showing Cabinet Shuffle go to post. Really looked well. Robin's confident that he'll do her stable proud since he joined their stable back in October last year. Anyway, yeah, very
Varsi and Suzette, they deserve a winner today.
Yeah,
I thought their horse in the last race ran absolutely admirably. Maybe that little sidestep did cost it.
Yeah, it ran a beautiful race. Tizona, he's always on the premises. It is a tough race, very, very competitive. But we've got the news coming through that Running Rifles has lost one of its shoes. That's the reason for the slight delay in proceedings. Number 8, Running Rifles, has lost one of his shoes, so the decision there is to replace it or to see if they can replace it.
So here's a story for you, Nick. Yesterday I was driving past the Western Shop, and anybody who drives past the Western Shop finds that their wheel alignment is all of a sudden out and the car just veers into the Western Shop. They've got such beautiful stuff there. And I was chatting to one of the gurus of marketing there, Dion, who's a part owner, and he was telling me that the plight of the farrier has become a very difficult one because steel prices went up 25%. The depreciation of the rand to 1920 has cost people so dearly that, believe it or believe it not, there's an infiltration of nails that are coming into the country. And I'm not allowed to mention the name of the company or the people that are bringing it in because it's under investigation. But there's a lot of nails that are filtering into the market that are about half the price of the nails that you know, the top
they would ordinarily use,
the Mustads of the world and all the top nail brands. So and there's a theory that this is part of the reason that some of these shoes are coming off. Obviously, a racehorse is such a flighty animal, and it goes down to the start, and you try and shoe them in a way that they're not going to be able to pull off their shoes with their hind feet as they overreach and they're dancing around. I mean, when you got that kind of protein and that kind of training, it's hard to keep horses' shoes on. But this is just something that has been offered as a possible outcome.
Explanation,
yeah.
Okay, well, that's food for thought there. As you know, well, I'm not a rider. I don't profess to be a rider, but I don't often go to the Western Shop. But I do have family that ride and do dressage and that, so I often go in there to get gift cards and presents and so forth. But that's interesting that you do mention that. There's a plausible explanation for exactly why we lose. Strangely enough, Andrew, we're not losing as many as we used to. There was a time when every second race, the horse had to be reshot at the start.
Yeah, it's you know, we have horses that get shot every 4 to 6 weeks, just depending on how much work they're doing. But those are steel shoes, and those are, you know, sport horse shoes. It's so different to the aluminium shoe. It's so much lighter. There's a lot less surface area, and you know, no hoof, no horse. I don't think anybody realizes that a gentleman by the name of Robbie Miller, who happens to shoe down in Cape Town, he's actually owned a few horses and still does with his partner Tish down in KwaZulu-Natal. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame recently in America as the highest qualified farrier in the history of the second oldest profession known to mankind. And I don't think that the Equus Awards have made a spot for an international inductee, and I have made very strong innuendos that should be the case in time to come. So let's give the farriers a lot of kudos. They put a lot of hard work in. It's back-breaking work, and they are one of the most important parts of the whole business.
We're talking about the Equus Awards. They take place this coming Wednesday night at Empress Palace, so hopefully everyone will get down there to support the awards for the last season. They are starting to load. Let's go and join up with commentator Brandon Bailey. Another very competitive race, and just by the way that the results have been today, I wouldn't rule out the chance of another upset result over here, as I think anything can run this one.
Yeah, thank you very much, Nico. Thanks, Andrew. They're loading up for the penultimate race, number 8. They at the 1500 meter marker. The doctors had a look at 8 running rifles, and all is in order. That'll definitely take place as Danilo Danilovic goes up with Tyconaut and Mercantor, and will be ready to send them back. Starter wasted no time, pulls the lever, and they are off and racing. Cabinet Shuffle, the pink sleeves and the pink cap. Right up there, Danilo Danilovic, then Team Gold, and wider out is Running Rifles, who's looking for a better position. So Running Rifles and Cabinet Shuffle, those are the first two, with Danilo Danilovic, pink sleeves and yellow cap in third. Then comes Team Gold behind that one. Further back is Tazona in a good position with Caden Brewer, only 5 lengths off the leader. River Carrares is racing behind that. Then comes Quantum Theory. Mercantor is one from last, and Tyconaut has dropped anchor and about 8 lengths off the leader. So Cabinet Shuffle made sure the gallop's a good one by a length and a bit with Danilo Danilovic. Then comes Running Rifles. Tazona's a length behind that. Team Gold to the outside. River Carrares, Quantum Theory quietly ridden the class package, 5 lengths off them. River Carrares on the outside that. Mercantor, and out back is Tyconaut, about 8 or 9 lengths off the leader. But this is where Kabelo Matsanyane hits the go button and gives Cabinet Shuffle a bit more rein and gets away by 2 lengths. Danilo Danilovic on the outside is Running Rifles, Quantum Theory, Team Gold and Tazona. Cabinet Shuffle at the 300, 2 lengths in front. Pack is starting to chase Quantum Theory. Quantum Theory, Team Gold, and on the outside Running Rifles. On the inside is Tazona, it's Cabinet Shuffle. Quantum Theory now being asked to win his race. Quantum Theory on the outside, Running Rifles. Running Rifles just gets there. What a finish. Quantum Theory right there. On the inside was Tazona. Cabinet Shuffle not beaten too far. Mercantor and Team Gold. So Running Rifles, hard up to the outside, has beaten Quantum Theory with a naked eye. Let's have another look at it. If you back Quantum Theory, don't just throw the ticket away yet. Let's have a look at it. I went Running Rifles. Quantum Theory has one late lunge, but it goes to Running Rifles. Top right, Jason Gates to beat Quantum Theory. Tazona's run third. Fourth will just go to which way? Okay, so Team Gold. So I believe it's 8, 5, 7, and 6. Take note, the judges confirmed that. 8, 5, 7, 6 numbers that you need, thanks to Harley next door. That was a cracking finish. Mercantor not too far, Cabinet Shuffle not too far, and Team Gold on the outside runs a cracker, but all hearts, all guts. Top right, Jason Gates. Running Rifles is going to pop its head down at the right time to beat Quantum Theory, and on the inside, Tazona. Let's look at that photo. The OB van will show you the photo. You can see clearly there's a margin for number 8, Running Rifles, to beat Quantum Theory, Tazona, and just for 4th was Team Gold ahead of Mercantor.
Go like flow, corner offer. Seven, Passchendaele, Raymond Danielson. 8 is Eternal Optimist, Richard Furry. 9, Donamo, Luenquatwa. Cantering down the 2, English Mistress. Back to the parade, we have 10, Red Palace, Anthony Andrews. And 1, Could It Be, Aldo de Meyer. 4 is Millennium Dancer, Keenan Stain. Remind you once again that the 5 is a non-runner, was a late scratching, got injured. 5 is a non-runner. Cantering down, number 7, Passchendaele. Eight, Eternal Optimist. Nine, Donamo. Ten, Red Palace. 4, Millennium Dancer. One is, could it be Aldo de Maya? 6, Montreal, Grant Finnegan. That's a field for the 6th race.
With me is Glenn Cotton as we go into race 6. Glenn, you've got Passchendaele here. She's a lovely, tall, rangy filly. What are you expecting from her?
She ran a super race in a juvenile feature race, her last start, and possibly just needing it because we hadn't had enough work. She almost ran sick and just weakened that last little bit. It's a competitive race out there, but I think she's definitely the filly to beat in current form. Most of the other fillies are all run right up close to that filly, Give Me a Feast or something like that. So, Give Me a Waltz, sorry, yeah. So, one of them are going to improve, but I still think we're the one to beat.
You have another runner on the day, is in race 7, My Bestie. Carries the 61.5 kilos, but he seems to enjoy the 1400 and he's a nice older horse.
Look, I looked at the race and he is the class horse of the race. It's a big weight to carry. It's slightly short from being a 1400, but he's coming back fresh. He doesn't know how to run a bad race. He'll be doing his best work at the finish.
Glenn, thank you, all the best.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks.
There you go. That's Glenn Cotton taking us through his runners and a lot of confidence coming about number 7, Passchendaele. She really is a lovely filly, Grant.
Thanks very much, Vicky. And yeah, Passchendaele, the 3-year-old daughter of Quarari out of a Captain Almere Pine Princess. She's got the pedigree, she's got the looks, and she's got some decent form as well. So there's definitely going to be a lot of people that are in the camp of the 7 Passchendaele. But it's not as easy as that because there's been a flood of money now for number 6, Montreal. 3-year-old daughter of Quarari, she's out of a Fort Wood mare. She steps up to the 1600. It wasn't a bad run over the 1400, MJ. She actually ran on quite a bit there. I know she was 6 lengths off at the 400. She got within 2.35 lengths of Green Valkyrie. And then her next start back over the 12. That was a decent effort as well. She seems to be learning about the trade. I think she's going to be a massive runner as well.
Yes, Grant, and you know, there's a bit of a collateral form run with the favourite number 7. She actually ran ahead of Montreal, ran 3rd to Kamikaze. Obviously, the favourites come out and run to Beach Bomb. Montreal has had the joys of not having another run. So you can see where the money has come from. There's definitely form to suggest that. So it's definitely not just a one-horse race, I can tell you that. For me, even number 8, I thought looked really well in the parade ring, and at 3.5 to 1 a place, I think it's real value.
All right, so it does look like it is an open race. Vicky, in terms of, you chatted to Glenn, you saw Passchendaele in the ring, you saw Montreal in the ring. If I were to say to you between those two, who looked more race ready today, who would you be siding with?
I think it's a very challenging thing to try and compare the two because I think they both look very well prepared and spot on. They're drawn right next to each other, so it's one of those almost fair game on the course. Montreal, yes, she seems to be building up to the run. She's been the 1400, whereas Passchendaele's been the 1500 in that lovely feature company we've all spoken about in the heavy going. So I think it's going to be a very good race, as Justin's mentioned earlier, that it's really good racing today, be it that we've had maiden place up to this point. The quality of horse in general has been outstanding. So really keen, and in Montreal she's going to have a lot of pace out there, but I have respect for both fillies, and I'm leaning towards number 7 Passchendaele.
Right, just having a look at the 6 going down to post. She was moving really nice, a little bit heady now at that stage, but I think she moved down to post well.
Yeah, it went well, a little bit keen, but she shouldn't have a problem, Grant. I must say she's a little sweaty at the start, eh?
I think with regards to the weather on course, be it there's a cool breeze, it's quite warm in the sun.
Yeah. What about number 9, Donna Mo? What did she look like in the ring?
Oh, Donna Mo, it was nice to chat to Brett, and that he said that she would enjoy the step up to the 1600 meters. She's quite a compact type of filly, in that really nice strong hind quarter on her, and I think last time out it was a really great bit of improvement, and if she had proved so much first to a second run, you can expect more so from her today. Being
out of a bankable mare, you've got to think that the trip's going to be within her range, MJ?
Yeah, and I'm sure Brett's obviously convinced that she should, to take her straight from a 12 to a mile, so yes, she shouldn't have a problem.
Anything else that you guys like?
Red? Palace, Vicky, I thought, 6 lengths to Winter Cloud. She's improved every run, gotten a little bit closer. Maybe she's looking for the mile.
Yeah, a bit of a wide draw, but she's never been too far off. And even the filly drawn one, could it be the daughter of Canford Cliffs, also showed improvement first to a second run. And I don't know if you have spoken about number 3, Go Like Flow. I know she went straight down to the start. She's ultra consistent. I know that she doesn't quite put that nose in front, but her consistency is outstanding. Her last 2 runs, she's been drawn quite wide. And if you look above that, she's, she always found the placing. So
She has the experience. It does count. If the younger ones don't take to the corner or have a bit of an issue with the track, then she'll have a little bit of advantage, experience advantage.
She's in my Kimberley horror camp.
Okay.
Go Like Flow.
you two have a book that you are busy writing.
It's not black. It's definitely not the black book.
No.
It's like, I don't know, pink or purple type of book. It's far away. Well, actually, it shouldn't be far away. It should close by. It'd save you money.
All right, could it be? We'd mentioned briefly the Canford Cliffs filly. Again, nice improvement first to second start. Pole position, always a big advantage.
Yes, I spoke to Gareth about it, and he said she is improved. She's a bit green, that's still, so she will improve again. So definitely a one that will be improving.
Could it be? I think could sneak into the back of quartets.
They're loading up. Let's hand up to Jean.
Loading up race number 6 is the World Sports Betting Leaders in Fixed Odds, a maiden plate for fillies and mares. And they go 1,600 metres. As Eternal Optimist goes forward, followed up by Red Palace. Passchendaele, the next one. Passchendaele goes in. Montreal. Go Like Flow will complete the lineup. Go Like Flow is in. We're all set. Gates are back and racing away with English Mistress slow into stride, losing a couple when the starter said go. On the far side, Red Palace is pushing forward, up looking for the lead. Go Like Flow along the inside is right in touch with that one. They're being followed on the far side by Dynamo, who's caught a little deep on the outside of horses, but trying to get up handy and get a good position. Racing just in behind these, Eternal Optimist is settling in that 4th placing. Could it be? Races back along the inside of that, racing on their outside. We've got Montreal, who settles about 6 lengths off them as they enter that far turn. Passchendaele races further back in behind that one, and English Mistress, who blew the start, is the back of the field, and she'll be 8 or 9 lengths off this leader. Red Palace shows the way as they go towards the 800, midway round that turn, has the lead by a length and a half to Dynamo, is racing up in second. Go Like Flow back at the fences and neck, further back racing in third. They being followed by Eternal Optimist, who's back in 4th placing and about 3.5 to 4 lengths off the leader midway round that turn. Racing just in behind that, Could It Be's along the inside. Further back to Montreal. Passchendaele gives that one about 2 lengths start, and the leader about 7 lengths as they corner and come off that false rail. Head for home with Millennium Dancer well back towards the inside and English Mistress. They're off the false rail, they're fronting to the judge there, 400 metres left to go, and it's Red Palace who's out in front. Just in behind that, Go Like Flow is trying to make a race of it. Dynamo has come off the fence. She's trying to run on, and Could It Be is coming home strongly in the centre of the course. And it's Could It Be full of running as they come to the final 150, who's out in front. Down towards the inside, Red Palace is still hanging on, and it's Red Palace who's well clear. Red Palace, the battle only on for the places. Red Palace easy. In behind them, Could It Be, and tight behind that for 3rd and 4th placing. Start to finish, the 10, Red Palace in front and clear. Could It Be trying to make a race of it, comes out the pack, but the winner wasn't stopping at any stage and stays on very well to win, and to win in runaway fashion. 10, Red Palace, comfortable. 1, Could It Be, comes out the pack, wins the race for the 2nd placing. They were then followed across the line in a very tight finish for 3rd and 4th. We'll see if we can disseminate, get that one. Looks like the outside horse. 8, Eternal Optimist, has got up for that 3rd placing, ahead of the 3, Go Like Flow back in 4th. Behind them, English Mistress. They were followed by Montreal. Further back to Dynamo. Passchendaele, no kind of run today. And Millennium Dancer was always struggling. Your head on view. Red Palace had cornered in front and just went further and further away from them. The battle on for the places. Could It Be in the centres, coming home hard. Go Like Flow was always trying. But 10, Red Palace, too strong, runs away with race number 6. Full result confirmed for race number 6. Winner is horse number 10, Red Palace. 3-year-old Bay filly by Patala Palace out of In Limine. Owned by Terry Andrews, Annabelle Andrews, MF Bass, CAF Gonzalez, Mr. H, MSM Breitendag, Candice Bass Robinson, the winning trainer, Gareth Wright, the winning rider, and Terry Andrews, the winning breeder. Second to 1, Could It Be, a 1-2 for the Bass Yard. Third was number 8, Eternal Optimist, and fourth to number 3, Go Like Flow. 10, 1, 8, 3, 1 minute 38.66 seconds, your winning time.
Welcome back to Turffontein for the final race on this afternoon's program, and it's once again very competitive, as Nico will have informed you. It's not been plain sailing over here. It hasn't been the easiest of days to find winners, and we're going to see if we can set the record straight in this, the 9th of the afternoon, where undoubtedly the best looking horse in the race is the favourite, number 1, Mo the Man. He's an absolutely breathtaking looking son of Royal Mo. Gavin Larena climbs aboard looking for his second win of the afternoon. The form's solid. He's run in June, he's run in July, and this is his peak run. He very seldom misses the money, if ever. And for that reason, you've got to suspect that the bookmakers and the public have actually got this right in terms of what will probably win this race. There's a lot to like about Rattlebags' last win. She won very, very well indeed. And when I did have a chance to speak to Grant Maroon, he said that he figured that she might just be able to follow up. I'm just having a look to see exactly what the market's got on offer in terms of support. And Mo the Man has hardened from 3-1 into 15-10. There's been a little bit of money for Rattlebag. The rest of them are pretty friendless in the betting, and as I said to Fani Bronkhorst when I interviewed him during the week, imagine if your whole stable was filled with horses like Elusive Swan. You would never have to work again, because he is just so consistent and such an absolute pleasure to have in the yard. He's not young anymore, but then again, he's not old by any stretch of the imagination. And he's currently on offer at 5-1 with 2-1 available as a place. Let's see who we can chat to. Well, I know Gavin's definitely got to get on now, and the bell's gone, so he's normally one of the last guys to get on the horses for the simple reason that he wants the horses to have as little weight on their backs for as little time as possible. That's the theory. Just a quick chat. Let's just, Mr. Matchett, just a quick chat with you. Just one quick question. I had a look at your horse over here as far as the form's concerned. We've chatted about this off camera. Best form over sort of 10, 11, 12 furlongs. You're bringing him back to a mile?
Yeah, Andrew, we just thought, the races he's been running and the paces have been very slow. And he's a horse, he wants a decent pace. So we've just opted the shorter distance, and normally they go quicker in a mile, and I think they will today. So let's hope we'll see if he always runs on at the end. Let's hope he can time it right.
And a very underrated stallion, I would say. They're not a lot of their progeny, but they can run.
That's right. No, underrated, but they're nice horses.
Fantastic. Thanks for your time, Paul. As Gavin Larena comes past, gee, that is a really smashing-looking horse by Royal Mo in the Lawrence and Tessa Werner Silks. What else have we got? We've got... oh, yes, we do have... Grant Maroon in the parade ring with Mark Kahn, but we would far prefer to talk to Mark than Grant, as we've spoken to Grant already, and Grant it doesn't take a lot to hurt his feelings. He's obviously going to go for counselling afterwards. Mark, what are you expecting in the last, and thanks in anticipation for your time.
Yeah, look, I was standing in the parade ring with Grant, representing the filly, and then he pushed me away. He said, but you should be in the Matchett camp because of Monsieur Cheval. So it's nice being in this situation. We've got the filly running number 2, and then we've got Monsieur Cheval, which I'm representing John Maroon and his partner. So I think they'll both be very competitive.
Well, that's fantastic to know that the racing manager has given us the inside track. We do believe that the way that the Maroon filly finished last time out, the way she won with a bit in hand, and you saw in his interview that he's very confident about her. The horses have now reached the end of the chute, and they'll be coming out into the track. Let Brandon Bailey take them to the post.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andrew. They're on their way down to the start for the lucky last. This is Rattlebag number 2 with Caden Brewer. That's number 6, Summer Fling, Wesley Mowing. Scratched over here as number 7, Godfather. So that's a non-runner, Godfather. Number 9 is Gregor McGregor, Samanga Kumalo. There's number 8, Monsieur Cheval, Philisande and Crowley. Number 10 is Mvalelo, Keratile Kacheri. Here's number 6, Summer Fling. Wesley Mowing taking that one down to the start. Mo the Man, number 1 is your 17-10 favourite. Number 4, Elusive Swan at 11-2. 2, Rattlebag at 13-2. And it's 10-1 and better those. Number 3 is Nazare, JP van der Merwe. Here's number 4, Elusive Swan and Calvin Abib. Number 5, Silent Trigger and Muzi Yeni. And there's number 11, Silly Fella, and that's the ride of Jared Penny. We can pick up the favourite, number 1, Mo the Man, in just a moment. There's Gavin Larena on number 1, Mo the Man. That's your 17-10 favourite. With Elusive Swan, number 4, 11-2. 2, Rattlebag, who won a good race last time at 13-2. And it's 10-1 and better those. 16.25 is the off time of the lucky last. That quartet pull went to 35,000 Rand. Let's go downstairs to Nico Kritsiotis and to Andrew Bond. They've done a wonderful job through the afternoon, and they'll look to find us the winner in the last race at Turfentine. This is the 9th and final.
Well, it's always important to include the public that come racing that every day in, day out. And I was just on the side of the parade ring here, and I've got Alfred with me. He's obviously a keen racegoer. The first thing he said to me is, Nico, where are Sean Tarry's horses? You're obviously a big Sean Tarry man, Alfred.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, obviously, a lot of these trainers vaccinate their horses. They take the end of, or the beginning of the season off. They'll be back in September, start gearing up for the big races coming up in November. You know, it's the Summer Cup in November and all those big races. So I'm sure you'll start to see them coming back in the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's correct. I'm waiting for Summer Cup in September.
Yeah. So tell me, you come racing often?
Very often here, and on Saturdays I'm always here.
And what do you like in this last race? Do you have any particular fancy here?
Yeah, I'm number 8.
Number 8. Do you know the name or just like the number? Monsieur Chevelle.
Yes, Monsieur Chevelle.
Okay. Well, all the best, Alfred. Nice meeting you.
Thank you very much.
It's important to find out. I mean, they ask questions, and you know, not everyone knows. But I mean, a lot of the trainers and the biggest stables are quiet at the moment, bringing their horses back slowly. That said, Andrew, it's been a tough old day racing. We made that race very, very hard to pick the winner. What do you think in the last?
Yeah, look, on looks, they can all start now. Mo the Man is an absolute beast. He's a really, really special-looking horse. He looks like he could walk around, never mind in the Hollywood Bets July or the Met or whatever. I think World Sports Betting are still sponsoring the Met this year, but we need to be clear on that. I just can't imagine that anything can beat him on the way he looks. He obviously has got top weight, but he's got some really, really good form as far as his run behind Spin Doctor is concerned. There have been a couple of placings behind them, and Spin Doctor didn't get the trip today. I did confirm that with Lucky.
Yeah. I didn't think, as I said, you know, when we looked at the breeding, I'm trying, but the breeding suggested that the progeny didn't get the trip.
100%, absolutely 100%. Now, the interesting horse is the gentleman who I spoke to just as he was leaving the ring with the patrons, and of course that was Paul Matchett, his horse Monsieur Chevelle. You just have to look at his form, and you see that he's run most of his races over 10 furlongs and 12 furlongs, and even as far as 3,000 meters where he ran behind Positive Attitude. And even though I don't think it was a particularly strong race, there have been a couple of place getters out. But he said the pace of this race today is destined to be a lot faster, and he's expecting Monsieur Chevelle from a handy draw to run on nicely. And the stable's clearly in very good form. So whatever you do, don't leave Monsieur Chevelle out of any of your calculations.
So Mo the Man on looks has to be respected. I was very impressed with Rattlebag's last win. That was Pilasana Mkoli that changed the rider now to Caden Brewer. And she won a good race last time. I obviously picked up a penalty, a 6-point penalty, which equates to 3 kilos. Elusive Swan was a horse I wanted to tuck into a little bit today. I thought it was a nice each-way horse here.
Yeah, don't let 6 years old put you off, because this horse doesn't know how to run a bad race. He runs very, very good races all the time, and you know, his fourth behind Running Rifles has instantaneously been franked.
Absolutely, that's one of the reasons, actually.
Yeah.
Although it was receiving quite a bit of weight. But I liked him going to post, and I thought that he gives of his best all the time, Elusive Swan, so it could do a lot worse than that.
Yeah, I said to Fani Bronkhorst, if you had a whole stable full of Elusive Swans, your life would be an absolute pleasure. You may not win the July, but you'll certainly have your turnstiles ticking over on a regular basis. And another horse that did catch the eye was Mvelelo.
Yeah, I wanted to speak to you very quickly about this. Not many trainers run maidens in handicap races, and I don't know the reason why. Maybe it's just the stigma, but it's easier for a horse to run better in a handicap where it fits in properly according to the weights than in maiden races where there are set weights with horses rated higher than them.
Yeah, I think you put it very well indeed. And, you know, if you look at his penultimate start when he ran behind, I think it was Brotherhood of Magic or You're My Sunshine, there have been 2 winners out of that form line. But let's not labour the point. Brandon's champing at the bit to call them home.
Yeah,
there is the beast. Very, very good-looking horse in Lawrence's colours.
Yeah.
Brandon, after you, Nico, it's all yours.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much, Andrew Bond, for doing the duty in the parade ring. It's been an absolute pleasure to have working alongside again after all the years. To Brandon Bailey, it's up to you to call him home in the lucky last of the day.
Thank you very much, Nico. Thanks, Andrew. Salifela goes up into line. Monsieur Chevelle, that'll be one of the last with Gregor McGregor. To close the curtain on what's been a tough day at the office. Flag goes up and they are off and racing. Mo the Man was the meat in the sandwich in the early parts of the race, just trying to muster up some speed. And now one of the leaders is Mo the Man. Nazare to the outside of that. Silent Trigger going to end up with a good position in third, only 2 lengths off them. Then comes Mvalelo, races in the yellow jacket, the yellow cap, Rattlebag to the outside of that. Then comes Elusive Swan, who settles down about 6 off them. Summer Fling, Silly Fella, Monsieur Chevelle and Gregor McGregor's at the back end and about 10 lengths off the leader. They go towards the last 1,000 meters, and Nazare's in front with Silent Trigger in second. Mo the Man, after a few question marks in the early starts of the race, is now in a good position. Races with the red sleeves and the sheepskin noseband in a good position, 2 or 3 lengths off them. Mvalelo's got the yellow jacket, Elusive Swan. Then comes Summer Fling, Silly Fellas about 8 or 9 lengths off them. Gregor McGregor and Monsieur Chevelle needs all the luck at the back end of the field and 8 or 9 lengths off the leader. Nazare on the dog leg, a 1-length leader with Silent Trigger and Rattlebag trying to build up early. That big profile is now being asked to win its race with Mo the Man on the inside. Elusive Swan got some running. Mvalelo, Monsieur Chevelle, Summer Fling, they're homeward bound. 400 meters left to go. Silent Trigger, Nazare, Rattlebags to the outside. Mo the Man, Elusive Swan, Mvalelo, Monsieur Chevelle, they sprint, comes Silent Trigger, Nazare, then Mvalelo, Rattlebag, and Elusive Swan starts to pin the ears back. Silent Trigger got to the lead. Silent Trigger, top ride, Muzieni beats Elusive Swan into second. Photos behind that, Nazare, Mo the Man, and Rattlebag. So Silent Trigger, that was a great ride from Muzieni. Had the source in striking distance, and the 5-year-old son of Twice Over gives Baron Buertis another one this afternoon. That's 3. Elusive Swan, good run second. Nazare will just do enough for third, and then came Mo the Man on the inside for 4th. Rattlebag, Mvalelo, Silly Fella, and Gregor McGregor. So Silent Trigger, Muzi was quick to pull the trigger at the top of the lane. What an afternoon it's been for Baron Buertis. He's got some lovely horses at the moment. Long may it continue. Very good trainer. Well done to Mr. and Mrs. P.A. Michaelides, to Mr. Q Thaver, bred by the Main Chance Farms, Pty Limited. They'll close off racing. This will become a 3-time winner from 19 outings. Elusive Swan, number 4 in second. Nazare, number 3, was in third. And Mo the Man, number 1 in fourth. 5, 4, 3 and 1 closes off the meeting. Thanks to Nico, thanks to Andrew Bonn, and a big thank you to you as the punter, more importantly. We'll chat again soon. Bye-bye.
Magnificent stuff for trainer Baron Buertis. He is the star of today's show out at Turffontein with 3 winners across the way from his...
The race with a bit of a chance. I do prefer others though. 5, Bardolino, Brett Crawford, Keenan Stein. Here's a runner that has been knocking on the door for a long time. Won a race it's made some time ago and hasn't been too far off them since then. Others preferred once again, but certainly an outside chance for a quartet. 6, Inamarore, another horse that I thought was going to go all the way through the divisions. He started his race of career off with 2 seconds, a couple of wins, in fact 3 wins, and then seemed to lose his way a little bit. If they've got him right, he's coming off a bit of a 94-day layoff, but we know he's got the ability if it all comes back today. 7, My Bestie, Glenn Codson, Raymond Danielson, top weight, last run a little bit disappointing. I think they're going to be hoping to see some improvement today. 8 is Prevalence, 4-year-old son of Give Me the Green Light out of a sports world mare called Sabina Park. This one would be racing in the colours of Michael de Broglie. Was bred by him too. Diego de Gavea jumps on board. Again, he's got some fair form. There was a little bit of a nibble on this horse in the anti-post, so don't be writing him off. He's certainly got credentials. 9, Augusta Blue, Adam Marcus's 4-year-old son of Give Me the Green Light. Craig Zaki jumps on board. Cracking run last time out, was just beaten by Keisha Raz. Again, this horse has got an outstanding chance here, and he definitely deserves the utmost respect. Charlie Croker is number 10. This is a 4-year-old son of my boy Charlie. Gareth Wright jumps on board again. Solid form. Look at his form behind Gainsford. Look at his form behind Future Turn. This horse has been knocking, and he's been knocking on the door pretty solidly. I think he's definitely the biggest danger to the stable companion Aldo's ride, Marina Trogon. 11 Michael Faraday, another one from the Candice Robinson yard, also ran behind Kisa Reyes. It wasn't a bad run at all. Again, you can make a bit of a case for an outside quartet finish. 12.55, Vaughan said he thinks he's getting to the bottom of this horse. Expect a better print from him as well. You know, he's got some decent form. He's run Gimme a Prince to a neck. San Pedro from the Vaughan Marshall yard, cracking run last time out. That was a good second. And again, Richard Freed now jumps on board. He has to be respected in this type of company. And 14 Marvel William, also Vaughan Marshall, Louis Makotwa plus a half. And this horse does need to show improvement. So those are your runners for our 7th race. Tough races, probably one of the tougher races on the card.
Runners for race number 7, the Race Cape, powered by Hollywood Bets. Cape B Stakes, 1,400 metres, now leaving the parade ring. One is Karaoke, Anthony Andrews. Three Double Charge, Corne Offer. Four, World's Best, Aussie Noach. 5, Bardolino, Keenan Stain, puts up plus a half. 6 is Inamorare, Craig Banton. 7, My Bestie, Raymond Danielson. 8, Prevalence, Diego de Gavea. 2 is Narina Trogon, Aldo de Maya. 9, Augusta Blue, Craig Zaki. Countering down is number 2, Narina Trogon. 3, Double Charge, Canvas Past. 1, Karaoke. Best. Five, Bardolino. 8, Prevalence. 6, Inamorare. 7, My Bestie. 10, Charlie Croker, Gareth Wright. 9, Augusta Blue. 11, Michael Faraday. 13 is San Pedro, Richard Ferree. Michael Faraday is written by Mornay Vinal. 14, Marvel William, Louis Nkotwa puts up +0.5. The rider has a black cap. 12 is 55er, Bernard Fadeherb. And completing the lineup is 15, Future Swing, Grant Van Niekerk. That's a field for race 7.
Race 7, the canter down made things a little bit more difficult. They all looked outstanding, as did Augusta Blue. Very striking type of horse. Adam, what run are you expecting or hoping for?
I'm expecting a very good run from him. Unfortunately, he's got a wide draw, but they seem to be going quite a good clip at Durbanville at the moment, barring, I think, the last race. But hopefully we get some luck in running. It does look a very, very competitive and open race, but he's in really good form, and I think with some luck in running, he will run very well.
The other two runners that you have in race 8 is Captive Moon and Kelp Forest. Captive Moon seems to be turned a corner.
Yeah, he ran on pretty well last time over shorter, and he's got a draw today with a very lightweight, so he's always in with a shout. As I say, I tend to repeat myself, but if he tries. And Kelp Forest, also drawn wide, has dropped 5 pounds in the rating, so expecting an improved effort.
Adam, thank you. All the best.
My pleasure. Thank you.
That's Adam Marcus taking us through his runners for the day, one of them being Augusta Blue, Grant, and he's in really good form at the moment. Absolutely looked the part in the parade ring. Very flash individual.
Thanks, Vicky. He is, and I'll tell you what, there's a couple of runners here that caught my eye, and some that went down to post really smartly, and one of those would be number 1, Kariaku. Probably one of the picks going down to post, MJ.
Yeah, he looked beautifully. Grant, even in the parading, really, like sort of stood out. His last start, the 1200 might have been probably a little bit sharp for him now. He has won at 12, but I think at the moment he's looking for a little bit further and drawn one. Look at him going down, it's beautiful. So yeah, he's got to be a runner in a very tricky, probably the trickiest race on the card.
Yeah, certainly a horse that I think you can be throwing into the quartets. Number 2, Narina Trogon. Now, this is the 4-year-old, the son of Silvana, out of that wonderful race, May Beach Beauty. He's got ability, as you heard. He's run behind some good horses. He's run behind without question. He's run behind Charles Dickens. He's run behind, he's beaten Kitchikal. This is a horse that I think obviously had a bit of bad luck stories last time out. But for me, I think he is the right horse. He's going to take power of beating.
Yeah, I spoke to Aldo, and he had obviously had the pick between the two, Charlie Croker and Narina Trogon. Currently on form, Charlie Croker, on paper, his form looks a bit better. But as you said, Narina Trogon was a bit unlucky last time, and if he just take that run away from it, Aldo opted to go with him, and he's hoping for a good run. Drawn 2, he will be competitive.
All right, so massive runner from him as well. Let's go to the stable companion, Charlie Croker, because, as you mentioned, Gareth's riding him, my boy Charlie. And Aldo thinks it's going to be almost between the two stable companions for the race.
Yeah, he said it wasn't an easy pick. So for me, just looking on form, I think Charlie Croker, what I can see, is probably the better ride. But the guys do the work and they'll know a little bit more.
I think also that, to be fair, the draw. Candice mentioned the draw of Charlie Croker, and she said it's just that as much as it's really the jockey's job, as you know, MJ, once those pens open, to get your horse placed, and you can be sharp and you can get them placed, but it just makes life a bit easier for both Aldo and Narina Trogon. But Charlie Croker, unbelievably consistent. I think also going back to the 1400 meters, a mile last time, he still ran a good race to finish in 4th. I think 1400 meters looks more his game.
I think that this looks like the race, but if there's going to be a major upset today, it's probably going to be in this race.
For sure.
I think so. And it ends up being quite open. I know Justin mentioned some of his horses too, that maybe he had higher hopes for them, and maybe a little bit disappointing here and there, but that doesn't mean that they can't perform in this type of race.
I thought Justin's horse Prevalence looked very, very well in the parading. Vicky, he sort of stood out there.
Well, I'll tell you, there was anti-post support for this horse. He opened up 14s, touched 12s. I don't know if there's...
Grant wouldn't surprise me at all.
So there has been some cash coming in for the horse. The horse that started his racing career off really looking like a smart individual was number 6, Inamarore. Have a look at the first couple of runs. Second, first, second, then another 2 wins. Then seemed to lose his way a little bit. If he reproduces some of that form that saw him beat Blackberry Malt, that saw him just half a length behind Lamorne, that's good enough. And even 3 lengths off Dave the King, that's solid form, guys.
Oh, he's had 2 runs since gelding. I don't know if maybe that was what he was needing. He was drawn wide and then drawn a bit better, but didn't quite come out the pens fast enough and sat quite a way back. But, I mean, as you said, his earlier form almost didn't miss a beat.
Yeah.
Just always on the money. So
Maybe also a bit higher rated than what he actually should be. He won it as 84, so maybe if he gets back down to 85 type of thing, then a bit more of a chance. Not saying he hasn't got a chance, it looks like when you go looking at the form, when he's in the lower 80s, he was very competitive. He starts getting over the 90s, then it starts getting tricky for him.
Listen, I think he's going to give a really good account of himself as well. I think he's better than that last couple of starts. So they are starting to load up for race number 7. It is the Race Cape powered by Hollywood Bets, the Cape B Stakes, as we hand up to Shahan.
Loading up race 7, the Race Cape powered by Hollywood Bets, Cape B Stakes, 1400 metres. Charlie Croker goes up. San Pedro stands ready. Prevalence, the next one to load. 55er. Augusta Blue. Inamorare, the black cap Marvel William, drawn out wide. World's Best, Future Swing, Kariakou, and Arena Trogon will complete the lineup for race number 7. Arena Trogon going in. We're all set. 1400 meters. Gates are back. Often racing, very untidy at the beginning. Future Swing was one of those that wasn't too well away. Lost a couple when the starter said go. Pushing forward, his double charge is up to look for the lead. Augusta Blue came away with the speed too, and he's also racing quite prominently. San Pedro is racing outside of those and pushes forward, and it's San Pedro now goes up to look for the lead. Also running round from a bad draw, Marvel William in the black cap has gone up handy. He's now gone into that second placing. That relegates double charge, the original leader. He's now back in third along the inside. Augusta Blue is in behind those. Karaoke races next, and he's just 3 lengths off the leader. World's Best is racing in behind that, kept company the far side by Bardolino, and they're about 6 lengths off the speed midway round the turn. They have 700 meters left to go. Racing in behind them, Arena Trogon is back at the fence with corner 8 lengths off them. My Best is racing outside of that. They're being followed then by Future Swing, who's 9-10 lengths off them. Inamorare races further back as they come with that false rail and hit for home now with just over 400 meters left to go. Down towards the inside, San Pedro has a narrow lead. On the outside of that, Marvel William is right there. Deep around the track, Karaoke is coming home strongly. There's plenty of chances. They found right across the track. Double charge down at the fence is also there. World's Best between runners. Karaoke up towards the outside might just be the leader. World's Best, the grey, is coming home strongly in the centre. And it's World's Best who's coming away strongly. Narina Trogon from the back of the field. World's Best goes on to win from Narina Trogon. Over towards the inside, Prevalence came home late and is involved in that photograph for minor money. 4, World's Best and Aussie Noach. Comes home strongly, hits the front. Down towards the inside, you'll see Prevalence is making a late dash, and right up the outside, Narina Trogon is also kicking on late. But 4, World's Best, the grey, has got to the front at the right time and stays on well to win it. Tight for places, but I think 2, Narina Trogon has done enough for that second place. 8, Prevalence was doing some low flying late and gets up for third. We'll let them cross the line to see who rounds out your quartet. Very, very close. From that one, Karaoke has just got up for that 4th placing. Ahead of Double Charge, further back to Bardolino. Behind them came San Pedro. Head on view. San Pedro was in front. The black cap, Marvel William. The grey, World's Best between runners, comes home strongly. Karioku's just outside of that. Narina Trogon, meantime, is shopping for daylight, has to switch around runners and come up the outside. At the same time, down towards the inside, the 8 Prevalence has come through that inside running rail. But 4 World's Best has done enough to take out race number 7. Result has been posted for race number 7. Your winner is number 4, World's Best, the 4-year-old grey gelding by Ideal World out of Holly Point. Owned by JML Equestrian Limited, nominee Jean-Michel Lisham, Des McLaughlin, the winning trainer, Ozzie Noach, the winning rider, and the winner was bred by Roots Brothers at the Henham stud. Second went to number 2, Narina Trogon. Third to number 8, Prevalence, and fourth to number 1, Karioku. 4, 2, 8, 1. 1 minute, 24.33 seconds, the winning time.